You did not find your way to this moment by chance. As the world outside prepares to turn a new page, as the calendar readies itself for a new year, something within you has stirred. A quiet, persistent voice has whispered that this time things can be different. You are here because your soul yearns for a deeper kind of change, one that is not measured in fleeting resolutions or external achievements, but in a profound and lasting inner peace. You are here because you sense that the frantic pace of modern life, with its endless demands and fleeting rewards, has left you feeling adrift, seeking an anchor in a turbulent sea. Tonight, and in the hours that follow, you will be guided back to that anchor, back to a wisdom that has weathered the storms of centuries, a philosophy forged in the crucible of empires, plagues, and personal loss. The ancient masters, the Stoics, understood the art of living well, not because their lives were free from hardship, but precisely because they were not. They discovered that true strength is not the absence of adversity, but the ability to remain steadfast and serene within it. You do not need to strive or struggle to absorb these lessons. You only need to listen, to allow these words to wash over your mind like a gentle tide, cleansing away the debris of the day's worries and anxieties. This is not a lecture. It is a sanctuary. It is a space for you to let go, to breathe, and to remember the immense power that resides within you, a power to shape your inner world, regardless of the chaos that may rage outside. Take a slow, deep breath, and let us begin this journey of transformation, a journey into the heart of a philosophy that can change not just your year, but your life. As the coming year 2025 dawns on the horizon, it arrives with the silent promise of a fresh start, a blank canvas upon which you can paint a new reality for yourself. Most of the world will greet this promise with loud declarations and ambitious goals that often fade with the passing of the first few weeks. They will seek to change their circumstances, to acquire more, to do more, believing that happiness lies at the end of some external pursuit. But you are here to learn a different way, a path that turns inward. The wisdom of the ages teaches us that the most significant and lasting change does not begin with altering our environment, but with transforming our perception. The world will continue to be unpredictable. People will continue to act in ways we cannot control. Fortune will continue to ebb and flow like the tide. The illusion that we can find lasting peace by manipulating these external forces is the very source of our greatest anxieties. True reinvention, the kind that endures, is an inside job. It is the quiet, deliberate cultivation of an inner fortress, a citadel of the mind so strong and so serene that the storms of life can break against its walls without ever disturbing the tranquility within. This is the promise of the Stoic path. It does not offer you control over the world, for that is impossible. Instead, it offers you something far more valuable: control over yourself. It teaches you to be the master of your own mind, the captain of your own soul. And as you master your inner world, you will find that the outer world, with all its chaos and uncertainty, no longer holds the same power over you. Your happiness will cease to be a fragile thing, dependent on the whims of fate, and will become a resilient internal flame that you yourself tend. This is the journey we embark on now, a guide to forging that inner strength lesson by lesson, so that the coming year becomes not just another passage of time, but a genuine renaissance of your spirit. Imagine you are standing on the bank of a powerful, rushing river. The current is strong, carrying with it leaves, branches, and the inexorable force of nature. You have spent much of your life trying to fight this river. You have tried to build dams with your bare hands, to push back against the current, to demand that the river flow in a direction of your choosing. Each attempt has left you exhausted, battered, and further from the peace you seek. This river is life itself, with its constant flow of events, its unpredictable twists and turns. Our suffering, the wise have taught, does not come from the river itself, but from our futile resistance to its current. We want things to be a certain way, people to act as we expect, and outcomes to match our desires. When reality does not conform to our wishes, we struggle, we resist, we create friction, and that friction is the source of our anxiety, our frustration, and our pain. The first and most foundational lesson on the path to a transformed life is to stop fighting the river. It is to understand that your power does not lie in controlling the flow, but in learning how to navigate it. It is the wisdom of acceptance, the serene strength of letting go of your grip on what you cannot change. This does not mean you are to be a passive log tossed about by the currents. On the contrary, you are to become a skilled boatman. You cannot control the river, but you can control your vessel. You can steer your ship with wisdom, adjust your sails with courage, and maintain your balance with temperance. Your boat is your mind, your character, your will. While the river of life rages on, you can remain centered, focused, and at peace within your own craft. This is the beginning of all wisdom, to distinguish between the river and the boat, between what is external and what is internal, between what is not in your power and what is. Once you make this distinction, everything begins to change. The energy you once wasted in fighting the inevitable is now yours to command, to be used in strengthening your vessel and steering it towards a life of virtue and fulfillment. Let us now delve deeper into this fundamental truth, the cornerstone upon which your inner fortress will be built. The ancient teachers called it the dichotomy of control, a simple yet profoundly liberating principle. It is the art of clearly distinguishing between what is within your sphere of influence and what lies outside of it. Imagine your life as a vast garden. Within this garden, there are certain elements you can directly tend to. You can choose what seeds to plant. These are your thoughts, your values, your principles. You can choose how to water and nourish them. These are your actions, your habits, your daily practices. You can choose to pull out the weeds. These are your negative impulses, your destructive judgments, your unexamined biases. The quality of this inner garden, the character of your soul, is entirely up to you. This is your sacred domain of control. Your will, your choices, your responses, your attitude. These are the plants that you alone can cultivate. But this garden is also part of a larger ecosystem. You cannot control the weather. You cannot command the sun to shine or the rain to fall. You cannot prevent the changing of the seasons. You cannot stop birds from visiting or insects from burrowing. These external elements are the events and circumstances of your life that lie beyond your direct influence. They include the opinions of others, your reputation, your health, your wealth, and the actions of those around you. The wise gardener does not waste their energy trying to command the clouds or bargain with the sun. Instead, they focus their efforts on what they can do, preparing the soil, choosing the right seeds for the season, and tending to their plants with diligence and care. They adapt to the weather, understanding that both sun and rain are necessary for growth. This is the essence of the Stoic approach. It is the serene acceptance that much of life is like the weather, unpredictable and beyond our command. Our task is not to change the weather, but to cultivate a resilient garden that can thrive in any condition. So, let us walk through your inner garden and identify with clarity what truly belongs to you, what is yours to shape and command. The first and most powerful tool you possess is your judgment. An event occurs in the external world. Someone praises you, someone criticizes you, you gain something, you lose something. The event itself is neutral. It is just a fact, like a cloud passing in the sky. It is your judgment about the event that gives it its emotional charge. You have the power to see praise not as a source of ego, but as a simple opinion. You can see criticism not as an attack, but as feedback. You can view gain not as a permanent possession, but as a temporary loan from fortune. You can see loss not as a tragedy, but as a natural part of life's flow. This power to choose your judgment, to interpret reality through the lens of reason and virtue, is entirely within your control. It is the master key that unlocks the door to inner peace. Next, you have control over your will, your intentions. You can choose to act with kindness, even when faced with cruelty. You can choose to be honest, even when deception seems easier. You can choose to be courageous, even when you feel fear. Your intentions, the moral compass that guides your actions, are forged within your own soul. The world may present you with difficult choices, but the choice itself is always yours. Finally, you have control over your actions. While you cannot always determine the outcome of your actions, the act itself, the effort, the attempt, the expression of your will is yours. You can choose to study for an exam, but you cannot control the grade. You can choose to be a loving partner, but you cannot control your partner's feelings. The wise person focuses on the quality of their actions, on the integrity of their effort, knowing that this is where their true worth lies. The outcome is left to the river of fate. These three things, your judgments, your will, and your actions, are the sacred territory of your inner kingdom. Tending to this kingdom is your life's most important work. Now, let us turn our gaze to the vast expanse that lies outside our garden, the elements of the world that we do not command. It is in resisting these, in trying to control the uncontrollable, that we sow the seeds of our own suffering. First among these is the opinion of others. How much of our energy is spent worrying about what others think of us? We crave their approval, we fear their judgment, we alter our behavior to fit their expectations. But the thoughts and opinions of another person are within their mind, not yours. You cannot control them. You can act with virtue and integrity, but you cannot force others to see you as you are. The wise person, like a skilled archer, focuses on their own form, the steady hand, the clear eye, the smooth release. Whether the arrow hits the bullseye is subject to the wind, a factor beyond their control. They do what is in their power, and they accept the result with equanimity. Your reputation, which is nothing more than the collective opinions of others, is similarly beyond your grasp. You can build it through virtuous action, but it can be tarnished by a rumor, a misunderstanding, or the envy of others. To tie your peace of mind to something so fragile is to build your house on sand. Your health and your body are also, to a large degree, outside your direct control. You can eat well, exercise, and live a balanced life. These are your virtuous actions. But you cannot command your cells to be free from disease, nor can you halt the natural process of aging. The wise person cares for their body as a custodian cares for a sacred temple, but they do not identify their true self with its temporary state. Their spirit remains strong even when the body weakens. Wealth and possessions are perhaps the most seductive of the externals. Society teaches us to equate happiness with material gain, but wealth is notoriously fickle. It can be lost in a market crash, a natural disaster, or a poor decision. To place your happiness in the hands of fortune is to condemn yourself to a life of anxiety, constantly fearing loss. The Stoic learns to use wealth wisely when they have it, but to be content without it, knowing that true riches, virtue, wisdom, and inner peace can never be taken away. This understanding of what you cannot control is not a philosophy of resignation. It is a strategy for liberation. Every moment you spend worrying about what others think, fretting about your reputation, or agonizing over financial uncertainty is a moment of your precious life force that is being squandered. It is energy that could be redirected inward toward cultivating your character, strengthening your will, and refining your judgments. Imagine the immense freedom that comes from genuinely letting go of the need for external validation. Imagine the peace that floods your soul when you accept the natural cycles of gain and loss, of health and sickness, of life and death. This is not about becoming indifferent or ceasing to care. You should still strive to do your best, to be a good friend, a responsible citizen, a caring human being. You should still take care of your health and manage your finances prudently. The difference lies in where you place your ultimate sense of self-worth and happiness. The wise person places it in their own virtue, in the quality of their choices and actions, which are always within their control. The external outcomes are secondary. They are preferred, but not necessary for a good and fulfilling life. As you prepare to enter a new year, let this be your first and most powerful resolution, to consciously practice this dichotomy of control. When you feel anxiety, frustration, or fear rising within you, pause and ask the simple question, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, then act with wisdom and courage. If the answer is no, then practice the art of acceptance. Breathe and let it go. This single practice, repeated daily, has the power to dismantle the structures of suffering you have built in your mind and replace them with a foundation of unshakable serenity. It is the key to unlocking the inner fortress we all possess. Now that we have laid the foundation of understanding what we can and cannot control, let us explore the second great pillar of a transformed life, the concept of amor fati, or the love of one's fate. This is perhaps one of the most challenging and yet most beautiful ideas in all of philosophy. It goes a step beyond mere acceptance. It is not simply tolerating what happens, it is embracing it, loving it, and seeing it as necessary and even beautiful. The wise person understands that the universe is a single, interconnected whole, a vast and intricate tapestry woven with threads of cause and effect. Every event, no matter how small or seemingly random, is an essential part of this grand design. Your life, with all its triumphs and tragedies, its joys and sorrows, is a single, unique thread in this cosmic tapestry. To wish for any part of your past to have been different is to wish for the entire tapestry to be undone. To love your fate is to look at the whole of your life, the light and the shadow, and to say yes to it all. It is to understand that the very challenges that have caused you pain have also been the crucibles that forged your strength. The losses that have brought you grief have also carved out the space in your heart for deeper compassion. The mistakes that have filled you with regret have also been your most profound teachers. When you truly embrace amor fati, you cease to be a victim of your circumstances. You are no longer at war with reality. Instead, you become a willing and joyful participant in the dance of existence. You see every moment as a gift, every experience as an opportunity for growth. This perspective transforms your relationship with adversity. Instead of seeing obstacles as unfortunate interruptions to your well-planned life, you begin to see them as the path itself. A challenge arises, and instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this here to teach me? How can I use this to become wiser, more courageous, more virtuous?" This is not to say that you will not feel pain or sadness. These are natural human emotions, but the suffering that comes from resisting reality, from the story you tell yourself that this should not be happening, begins to dissolve. You can feel the pain of a loss without being consumed by the suffering of wishing it were otherwise. You can face a difficulty with a clear mind, free from the inner turmoil of resentment and complaint. This is a radical shift in perspective, one that requires consistent practice. It is the practice of looking at your life, past and present, and finding the ways in which every event has contributed to the person you are today. It is the practice of gratitude, not just for the good times, but for the hard times as well, recognizing them as the source of your deepest growth. As we stand on the threshold of a new year, this is a powerful intention to cultivate. Imagine moving through 2025, not just accepting what comes, but loving it. Imagine facing every challenge not with a sigh of resignation, but with an open heart and a sense of curiosity. What strength could you build? What wisdom could you gain? What depths of character could you uncover if you were to embrace everything that happens as if you had chosen it yourself? This is the power of amor fati. It is the ultimate alchemy of the soul, the ability to turn the lead of suffering into the gold of wisdom. It is the pathway to a joy that is not dependent on circumstances, a joy that springs from the deep and abiding love for the whole of your life, just as it is. With the twin pillars of the dichotomy of control and the love of fate firmly in place, we can now turn to building the structure of a virtuous life. For the ancient masters, a good life was not defined by wealth, pleasure, or status, but by character. The ultimate goal was to live in accordance with virtue, to become the best version of oneself. They identified 4 cardinal virtues that serve as the blueprint for a noble and fulfilling existence: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are not abstract ideals, but practical guides for daily living, the very tools you will use to navigate the river of life. The first and foremost virtue is wisdom. This is not simply about accumulating knowledge or being intellectually clever. Stoic wisdom is practical wisdom. It is the ability to see the world clearly, to distinguish between what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. For the Stoic, the only true good is virtue, and the only true bad is vice. Everything else, health, wealth, reputation, even life and death, is indifferent. They are preferred or dispreferred, but they have no bearing on your moral worth or your capacity for happiness. Wisdom is the master virtue that guides all the others. It is the knowledge of how to use the indifferent things correctly. It is the clarity to make sound judgments, to see situations for what they are without the distortion of fear, greed, or ego. It is the understanding of what is truly important in life and the ability to act in accordance with that understanding. To cultivate wisdom, you must become a student of your own life. You must practice self-reflection, examining your thoughts, your actions, and your motivations with honesty. You must question your assumptions and be willing to change your mind in the face of reason. You must seek out knowledge, not for the sake of showing off, but for the sake of living better. The second virtue is courage. This is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly in the face of it. The world is full of things that can inspire fear, pain, loss, failure, criticism, death. Courage is the mental and moral strength to face these things with a calm and rational mind. It is the fortitude to do what is right, even when it is difficult or dangerous. Courage is the strength to stand by your principles, even when you stand alone. It is the resilience to get back up after you have been knocked down, to persevere in the face of obstacles. It is the honesty to face your own flaws and the will to work on them. You can practice courage in your daily life, in small ways that build your inner strength. It can be the courage to have a difficult conversation, to apologize when you are wrong, to take on a challenge that scares you, or to be vulnerable and open with someone you trust. Each act of courage, no matter how small, strengthens your character and prepares you for the greater challenges that life will inevitably bring. It is the inner warrior who guards your soul, ensuring that you are not ruled by fear, but by reason and virtue. As you look towards the new year, think about where you can practice more courage in your life. What fears are holding you back from becoming the person you want to be? What challenges can you embrace as an opportunity to build your fortitude? Remember, courage is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is a decision you make, moment by moment, to act in accordance with your highest self, regardless of the emotional turbulence you may feel. This is the path to true inner freedom, the path of the spiritual warrior. The third virtue is justice. This is perhaps the most outwardly focused of the Stoic virtues, but it springs from the same inner source of reason and wisdom. Justice is about recognizing our shared humanity and our duty to one another. The wise person understands that we are not isolated individuals, but parts of a larger whole, a single human community. As such, we have a responsibility to treat others with fairness, kindness, and respect. Justice is about seeing the spark of the divine, the fragment of universal reason, in every human being, regardless of their station, their beliefs, or their background. It is about acting with integrity in all our dealings, being honest in our words and fair in our actions. It is about contributing to the common good, using our talents and resources not just for our own benefit, but for the betterment of society. This does not mean that you should neglect your own needs or become a martyr. A just person also recognizes their duty to themselves, to cultivate their own character and well-being. But they understand that their personal flourishing is inextricably linked to the flourishing of the community. To practice justice in your daily life means being a good friend, a good partner, a good neighbor, and a good citizen. It means listening with empathy, speaking with compassion, and acting with a sense of fairness. It means standing up against injustice when you see it, and using your voice to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. It means being mindful of the impact of your actions on others and on the planet. It is a commitment to living a life that is not just good for you, but good for everyone. As you plan for the coming year, consider how you can bring more justice into your world. How can you be of service to others? What small acts of kindness and fairness can you incorporate into your daily routine? Justice is the virtue that connects us, that weaves the individual threads of our lives into the beautiful and resilient tapestry of humanity. The fourth and final cardinal virtue is temperance, or self-control. This is the virtue that brings balance and harmony to the soul. It is the art of mastering your desires and impulses, of living with moderation and discipline, so that you are not a slave to your appetites, but the master of your own will. In a world that constantly bombards us with temptations for more food, more pleasure, more possessions, more distraction, temperance is a radical act of rebellion. It is the strength to say no to the fleeting desires that pull you away from your long-term goals and your deepest values. It is the clarity to distinguish between what you want in the moment and what is truly good for you. Temperance is not about self-denial or living a life devoid of pleasure. The wise person enjoys the good things in life, but they are not attached to them. They can savor a fine meal without being a glutton. They can enjoy a moment of pleasure without becoming a hedonist. They can appreciate wealth without becoming greedy. Their happiness does not depend on these external things, so they are free to enjoy them without fear of loss. Their joy comes from within, from a mind that is orderly, rational, and at peace. You can practice temperance every day. It can be as simple as choosing to eat a healthy meal instead of junk food, turning off the screen to read a book, or resisting the impulse to make a sarcastic comment. It is about bringing a sense of mindfulness and intention to your daily choices, asking yourself, is this action aligned with my values? Is this bringing me closer to the person I want to be? Each time you choose discipline over impulse, you are strengthening your will like a muscle that grows stronger with use. This inner strength is the foundation of a tranquil and ordered life. It is the power that allows you to remain calm and centered, even when faced with the chaos and temptations of the world. Temperance is the gatekeeper of your soul, ensuring that only what is rational, virtuous, and truly good is allowed to enter. Together, these four virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, form a complete and coherent guide to living a good life. They are not separate qualities, but interconnected aspects of a single, unified character. You cannot be truly courageous without wisdom to guide your actions. You cannot be truly just without the courage to stand up for what is right. You cannot be truly temperate without the wisdom to know what is enough. They are like the four legs of a sturdy table. Remove one, and the entire structure becomes unstable. The pursuit of these virtues is a lifelong journey. You will not achieve perfection overnight. There will be times when you stumble, when you act out of fear, injustice, or a lack of self-control. This is part of the human condition. The key is not to despair, but to get back up, to learn from your mistakes, and to continue striving to be better. The path of the Stoic is a path of constant practice, of daily effort, of a commitment to closing the gap between the person you are and the person you have the potential to be. As you look toward 2025, let these four virtues be your guiding stars. In every situation, in every choice, ask yourself, what would be the wise thing to do? What would be the courageous thing to do? What would be the just thing to do? What would be the temperate thing to do? By asking these questions, by consciously choosing to act in accordance with these virtues, you are not just setting goals for the new year. You are forging your character. You are building your inner fortress. You are creating a life of meaning, purpose, and unshakable peace. This is the true art of living, the timeless wisdom that can transform your life. Now that we have explored the foundational pillars of a Stoic life, let us turn to a powerful mental tool, a practice that can dramatically increase your resilience and reduce your anxiety. Premeditatio malorum, or the negative visualization. This may sound counterintuitive. In a culture that champions positive thinking, the idea of deliberately contemplating negative outcomes can seem pessimistic or even morbid. But for the ancient masters, this was a cornerstone of mental preparation, a form of psychological armor that protected them from the shocks of fortune. The practice is simple yet profound. It involves taking time regularly, perhaps each morning, to reflect on all the things that could go wrong during the day. You might imagine losing your job, getting into an argument with a loved one, facing a health scare, or even confronting your own mortality. The goal is not to dwell on these possibilities with a sense of dread, but to approach them with a calm and rational mind. The purpose is twofold. First, it serves as a powerful antidote to complacency and attachment. By regularly reminding yourself that everything you cherish, your health, your relationships, your possessions, is temporary and can be taken away, you learn to appreciate it more deeply in the present moment. You stop taking things for granted. The simple joy of a healthy body, the warmth of a friendship, the comfort of a home. These things become more vivid and more precious when you are mindful of their impermanence. You hug your loved ones a little tighter. You savor your meals with more gratitude. You engage with your work with a greater sense of purpose. This practice cultivates a deep and abiding gratitude for the good things in your life, right here and now. The second, and perhaps more crucial purpose of negative visualization is to prepare your mind for adversity. Life is unpredictable. Despite our best plans, things will go wrong. We will face loss, disappointment, and pain. When these events happen unexpectedly, they can have a devastating emotional impact, catching us off guard and shattering our peace. But if you have already contemplated these possibilities in the calm of your mind, if you have mentally rehearsed how you would respond with virtue and equanimity, then the actual event, should it occur, will have lost much of its power to disturb you. You have, in a sense, inoculated yourself against the shock of misfortune. You have already considered the worst-case scenario and have prepared your response. You might say to yourself, if I were to lose my wealth, I know that my true worth lies in my character, not my bank account. I can live simply and with dignity. Or, if I were to face a serious illness, I would face it with courage and make the most of the time I have. By doing this, you are not inviting disaster. You are rehearsing for it. You are training your mind to remain calm and rational in the face of chaos. You are building resilience. This practice robs misfortune of its surprise element, which is often its most potent weapon. When the storm comes, you will not be a panicked sailor frantically trying to figure out what to do. You will be the prepared captain who has already charted a course through turbulent waters, who knows where the lifeboats are and who can steer the ship with a steady hand. As you begin to integrate this practice into your life, perhaps as part of your morning routine for the new year, start small. You don't need to contemplate catastrophic events every day. You can begin by visualizing minor annoyances, being stuck in traffic, dealing with a difficult colleague, or having your plans for the evening fall through. Imagine these things happening and then visualize yourself responding, not with anger or frustration, but with patience, understanding, and a sense of perspective. As you become more comfortable with the practice, you can gradually expand it to include more significant challenges. The key is to maintain a sense of calm detachment, to view these imagined scenarios not as personal tragedies, but as exercises for your soul. Remember the dichotomy of control. You cannot prevent all misfortunes from happening, but you can always control your response to them. Negative visualization is the training ground for that response. It is where you build the mental and emotional muscles you will need to face life's inevitable difficulties with grace and fortitude. This is not a path to a life free from pain, for such a life does not exist. It is a path to a life where you are stronger than your pain, where your inner peace is not a fragile thing that can be shattered by external events, but a resilient fortress that you have built stone by stone with the practices of wisdom and foresight. This is the Stoic secret to unshakable tranquility. From the practice of preparing for future hardships, we now turn to a complementary and equally powerful meditation, memento mori, the remembrance of your own mortality. Remember, you will die. These are not words meant to evoke fear or despair, but to ignite a profound sense of urgency and appreciation for the life you have right now. The awareness of death for the Stoic is not a morbid obsession, but a vital catalyst for living a life of meaning, virtue, and presence. Most of us live as if we have an infinite amount of time. We postpone our dreams. We leave important words unsaid. We waste our days on trivial distractions, always assuming there will be a tomorrow. We live in a state of denial about the one certainty that awaits us all. But in doing so, we rob our present moments of their preciousness and their power. Memento mori is the practice of pulling back this veil of denial and looking at life with the clear-eyed perspective that our time is finite. When you truly internalize this truth, your priorities begin to shift dramatically. The things that once seemed so important, the petty arguments, the grudges, the pursuit of status, the fear of what others think, begin to fade into insignificance. What comes into focus is the essential, the quality of your relationships, the integrity of your character, the contribution you make to the world, and the joy you find in the simple act of being alive. To live with death as your advisor is to live with a profound sense of clarity. Every morning, you can ask yourself, if this were my last day on earth, how would I want to spend it? Would I waste it on anger, envy, or fear? Or would I fill it with love, kindness, and courageous action? This simple question has the power to transform your entire day, to elevate your actions from the mundane to the sacred. This practice of remembering death is the ultimate antidote to procrastination. It lights a fire under your ambitions and your desire for self-improvement. You realize that you do not have forever to become the person you want to be. The time to practice virtue, to cultivate wisdom, to be of service to others is now. It encourages you to live your philosophy, not just to read about it. It pushes you to close the gap between your ideals and your actions, to live a life that is authentic and true to your deepest values. Moreover, the awareness of mortality can be a source of immense courage. Many of our fears are rooted in the ego's desire for self-preservation, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment. But what power do these fears have in the face of the ultimate end? When you remember that you will die, you are emboldened to take risks, to pursue your passions, to speak your truth, because you realize that the cost of inaction, a life half-lived, is far greater than the risk of failure or criticism. You become more willing to step out of your comfort zone and embrace the fullness of your potential. As a practice for the coming year, you can incorporate memento mori into your life in various ways. You might place a small object on your desk, a skull, an hourglass, or a simple stone, to serve as a physical reminder of your mortality. You could take time each day to meditate on the transient nature of life, reflecting on the fact that every passing moment is one that will never return. You could write in a journal, reflecting on how you would live differently if you knew you had a limited time left. This is not about becoming gloomy or fixated on the end. It is about using the reality of death to infuse your life with more vitality, more purpose, and more joy. It is the ultimate paradox. By embracing death, you learn how to truly live. Let us now synthesize these powerful mental practices. We have the premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, which prepares us for adversity. And we have memento mori, the remembrance of death, which inspires us to live fully. Together, they form a potent combination that builds what the ancients called the inner citadel. This is the fortress of the mind, the unshakable core of your being that remains calm and secure, no matter what external storms may be raging. The inner citadel is your ultimate refuge. It is a state of inner peace and resilience that is not dependent on external circumstances. You build this citadel not with bricks and mortar, but with your thoughts, your judgments, and your principles. The Stoic practices we have discussed are the tools and techniques for its construction. The dichotomy of control lays the foundation, teaching you to build on the solid ground of what is within your power. Amor Fati provides the architectural plan, showing you how to design a life that embraces all of reality, not just the parts you like. The four virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are the strong pillars that support the entire structure, giving it integrity and strength. And the mental exercises of negative visualization and remembering your mortality are the daily maintenance and fortification work, ensuring that your citadel remains strong and impenetrable. When you have cultivated this inner citadel, you are no longer a fragile being, tossed about by the waves of fortune. You have a sanctuary within yourself where you can always retreat to find peace, clarity, and strength. An external event happens, a financial loss, a betrayal by a friend, a public criticism. The initial emotional reaction may still arise, for you are human. But instead of being overwhelmed by it, instead of letting it dictate your actions, you can retreat into your citadel. There, you can observe the emotion with detachment. You can analyze the situation with the clear light of reason. You can consult your guiding principles, your virtues, and you can choose a response that is wise, courageous, and just. This ability to pause, to retreat inward, and to respond consciously rather than react impulsively is the hallmark of a truly free human being. You are no longer a slave to your emotions or to external events. You are the calm and rational ruler of your own inner kingdom. This does not mean you will be immune to pain. You will still feel the sting of loss and the ache of disappointment. But these feelings will not have the power to destroy your fundamental sense of well-being. They will be like clouds passing through the vast clear sky of your consciousness. The sky itself remains untroubled. Building this inner citadel is the ultimate goal of the Stoic path. It is the work of a lifetime, requiring daily practice and unwavering commitment. But every effort you make, every time you choose a rational response over an emotional reaction, every time you practice a virtue, you are adding another stone to its walls. As you look towards 2025, envision yourself as the architect of this sacred inner space. Each day is an opportunity to build. Each challenge is a chance to test the strength of your walls. Each moment of reflection is a chance to draw up the blueprints for a stronger, more serene existence. The world will always be a place of chaos and uncertainty, but you do not have to be a reflection of that chaos. You can be a beacon of calm within it. You can be the lighthouse that stands firm and unshaken, guiding yourself and others through the storm. This is not just a philosophy for a new year, it is a philosophy for a new life. A life of inner strength, unshakable peace, and profound freedom. This is the promise of the inner citadel. As we continue to fortify our inner world, we must address the lens through which we perceive reality itself. Our experiences are not shaped by events alone, but by the stories we tell ourselves about them. The Stoics understood this profoundly and taught the importance of objective perception, the practice of seeing things as they are, stripped of our subjective judgments, emotional reactions, and inherited biases. Imagine an event. The rain begins to fall. For one person, this is a terrible thing, ruining their plans for a picnic. For a farmer in a drought, the same event is a wonderful blessing. For a scientist, it is simply a meteorological phenomenon. The rain itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. It is the label, the judgment we attach to it, that creates our emotional experience. Our minds are constantly creating these labels, weaving narratives that color our reality. We don't just see a difficult task at work, we see a threat or an overwhelming burden. We don't just experience a breakup, we experience a devastating tragedy. These emotionally charged interpretations are the source of much of our mental turmoil. The practice of objective perception is the art of consciously pausing this storytelling machine. It is the discipline of separating the raw, objective fact from the subjective story you have wrapped around it. When faced with a challenging situation, the first step is to describe it to yourself in the most literal, factual, and unemotional terms possible. Instead of saying, "My boss humiliated me in the meeting," you might say, "My boss pointed out 3 errors in my report in front of my colleagues." This may seem like a subtle shift, but its psychological impact is enormous. The second statement is a description of an event. The first is an interpretation laden with emotional baggage like shame, anger, and resentment. By stripping away the subjective labels, you create a space of clarity. In this space, you can analyze the situation rationally and choose a constructive response. In the example of the boss's feedback, the objective framing allows you to ask practical questions. Were the errors valid? What can I learn from this? How can I improve my work in the future? This is a proactive, problem-solving mindset. The emotional, subjective framing, on the other hand, traps you in a reactive state of hurt and anger, making it difficult to learn or move forward. This practice is not about becoming a cold, unfeeling robot. It is about emotional regulation. It is about ensuring that your actions are guided by reason, not by unchecked emotional impulses. You can still acknowledge your feelings. You can feel the sting of criticism or the disappointment of a setback. But you do not have to let that feeling become the entire story. You can recognize the feeling and then choose to focus on the objective reality and the actions you can take. To cultivate this skill for the new year, you can practice a journaling exercise. At the end of each day, write down one event that triggered a strong emotional response in you. On one side of the page, write down your initial subjective interpretation of the event, with all its emotional language. On the other side, rewrite the event in the most objective, factual terms you can, as if you were a neutral journalist reporting on it. Then compare the two. Notice how the objective description diffuses the emotional charge and opens up new possibilities for how to view and respond to the situation. This practice, over time, will retrain your brain. You will become more adept at catching your subjective judgments in the moment and replacing them with a clearer, more objective perspective. You will become less reactive and more responsive, more of a thoughtful strategist, and less of a helpless pawn in the game of life. This is the power of seeing the world with clear eyes, the power of objective perception. Now, let us weave all these threads together into a single cohesive philosophy for living. the principle of living in accordance with nature. This may sound abstract, but for the Stoics, it was the ultimate expression of all their teachings. It is the grand synthesis, the capstone of a virtuous and fulfilling life. What does it mean to live in accordance with nature? It has two interconnected meanings. First, it means living in accordance with human nature. And what is the defining characteristic of human nature? It is our capacity for reason. We are rational beings, capable of logic, reflection, and moral choice. To live in accordance with our nature, therefore, is to live a life guided by reason. It means using our unique human faculty to navigate the world, to make wise choices, to master our impulses, and to live in a way that is orderly, purposeful, and virtuous. All the principles we have discussed flow from this core idea. The dichotomy of control is a rational assessment of reality. The four virtues are the expressions of a rational and well-ordered soul. The practice of objective perception is an exercise in rational thought. To live according to nature is to fully embrace and express our highest human potential. It is to live as a human being, not as an animal driven by instinct and appetite. It is a call to a life of dignity, self-respect, and moral excellence. This is a profound and empowering vision for your life in the coming year. The second meaning of living in accordance with nature is to live in harmony with the nature of the universe. The Stoics saw the cosmos not as a random collection of events, but as a single, ordered, and rational system, which they often referred to as Logos or God. Everything in the universe is interconnected and unfolds according to a grand universal plan. To live in accordance with this cosmic nature is to accept our place within this larger order. It is to embrace the flow of life, to accept what happens with equanimity, and to trust in the inherent wisdom of the universe. This is where the practice of amor fati, the love of fate, finds its ultimate justification. We love what happens because we understand that it is a necessary part of a perfect whole. We see that every event, even those that seem tragic or painful from our limited perspective, serves a purpose in the grand scheme of things. This perspective provides a profound sense of peace and belonging. You are not a solitary being, struggling against a hostile and indifferent universe. You are an integral part of a beautiful, rational, and benevolent cosmos. Your life has inherent meaning and purpose as a participant in this divine order. Your role is to play your part to the best of your ability, to be the best human being you can be, and to contribute to the harmony of the whole. So, to live in accordance with nature is a twofold commitment: to cultivate your own inner reason and to align yourself with the rational order of the universe. It is the practice of looking both inward and outward, of finding harmony within yourself and with the world around you. This is the ultimate goal of the Stoic path, the summit of the mountain we have been climbing. It is a life of serene joy, unshakable strength, and profound purpose. As you step into 2025, hold this vision in your heart. Let it be your guide and your inspiration. Strive to live each day with reason as your compass and virtue as your guide. Strive to accept the flow of life with a loving and trusting heart. This is the path to a truly transformed life, a life of flourishing, a life in full harmony with the nature of all that is. As we draw this guide to a close, let us reflect on the journey we have taken. We began with the simple yet powerful desire for a better life, a more peaceful and fulfilling existence in the year to come. We have traveled back in time to sit at the feet of the ancient masters and learn a philosophy that is as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. We have been given a blueprint for building an inner fortress, a sanctuary of the soul that can withstand any storm. We started with the foundational principle of distinguishing what is within our control from what is not, a key that unlocks us from the chains of anxiety and frustration. We learned to embrace our fate, to love the entirety of our life's journey, recognizing that every challenge is a teacher and every setback is a setup for growth. We have explored the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, as the guiding stars for a life of character and integrity. We have armed ourselves with powerful mental tools, the practice of negative visualization to build resilience, and the remembrance of death to infuse our lives with urgency and meaning. We have learned to see the world with clear, objective eyes, stripping away the emotional narratives that cause us so much pain. And finally, we have seen how all these principles culminate in the ultimate goal of living a life in accordance with nature, our rational human nature and the rational order of the universe. This is not just a collection of interesting ideas. It is a practical, actionable guide to changing your life from the inside out. It is a call to become the architect of your own character, the captain of your own soul. The path is not easy. It requires daily practice, constant vigilance, and a compassionate commitment to your own growth. There will be days when you forget these lessons, when you fall back into old patterns of reaction and resistance. But that is okay. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and every time you choose a virtuous response over an impulsive one, you are taking a step in the right direction. As 2T025 unfolds, let this be your year of Stoic practice. Let it be the year you stop waiting for the world to change and start transforming yourself. Create a morning ritual where you reflect on these principles, setting your intention for the day. Keep a journal where you can examine your judgments and track your progress. In moments of difficulty, pause, breathe, and retreat into your inner citadel. Consult your virtues. Choose your response. This is the work. This is the path. And it is a path that is open to you, right here, right now. You have within you a spark of the divine, a capacity for reason, wisdom, and virtue that is unshakable. Your happiness is not a distant destination to be reached, but an inner state to be cultivated. The peace you seek is not in a world free from problems, but in a mind that is free from the turmoil of its own making. You have the tools. You have the blueprint. Now the work begins. Go forth into this new year not with a list of fleeting resolutions, but with a deep and abiding commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Go forth with courage, with wisdom, with a loving and accepting heart. The journey ahead will be rich with challenges and opportunities, and you are ready to meet them all. You are the gardener of your soul, the captain of your ship, the ruler of your inner kingdom, and a life of flourishing, freedom, and profound peace is your birthright. The journey toward a transformed life, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, is a continuous process of learning, reflection, and practice. Each day offers a new opportunity to strengthen your inner citadel, to align your actions with your virtues, and to find serenity amidst the inevitable chaos of life. As you move forward, it is helpful to have a structured way to integrate these teachings into your daily routine. Consider creating a personal Stoic handbook, a journal where you can distill these lessons into your own words and reflect on your experiences. This practice of writing is a powerful way to clarify your thoughts and reinforce your commitment. You might dedicate a section to each of the core principles, periodically adding your own insights, struggles, and victories. This journal becomes a living document, a testament to your growth and a source of strength to which you can return in times of doubt. It is your personal conversation with the great masters, a dialogue that unfolds across the pages of your own life. Remember that this philosophy is not one of isolation. The virtue of justice calls us to be of service to our community. Look for ways to practice these principles in your interactions with others. Can you offer a listening ear to a friend in distress, responding with empathy but without being consumed by their emotion? Can you approach a disagreement at work with a commitment to fairness and objective reason? Can you show temperance in a world of excess, thereby setting a quiet example for those around you? Your practice of Stoicism is not just for your own benefit. It has a ripple effect, contributing to a more rational and compassionate world. In moments of ease and prosperity, it is easy to forget these lessons. This is why the practice of premeditatio malorum is so vital. When things are going well, take the time to reflect on the fragility of your fortune. This is not to diminish your joy, but to temper it with wisdom, so that you are prepared for the inevitable shifts in life's seasons. This foresight allows you to enjoy your blessings with a deeper sense of gratitude, free from the anxiety of clinging. Conversely, in the depths of adversity, when you feel lost or overwhelmed, remember the words of the wise. Return to your journal, reread these lessons, and reconnect with your inner strength. Remind yourself that the obstacle is the way. See the challenge not as a punishment, but as a test designed to make you stronger. Trust in the process, even when you cannot see the path ahead. Your resilience is forged in these fires. The practice of philosophy is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your small victories, the times you chose calm over anger, courage over fear, wisdom over ignorance. And when you stumble, treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a dear friend. The goal is not perfection, but progress. It is the consistent effort, the daily commitment to living a life of virtue that truly matters. As you continue on this path, you will find that your relationship with the world begins to change. You will become less reactive to external events, for you will know that your peace comes from within. You will feel a deeper connection to humanity, recognizing your role in the great cosmic order. You will find a quiet joy in the simple things, a contentment that is not dependent on possessions or praise. You will become a source of strength and stability, not just for yourself, but for those whose lives you touch. This is the promise of a life lived in accordance with reason and nature. It is a life of true freedom, profound purpose, and unshakable peace. The journey of 2025 is just beginning. Let it be a year of deep and meaningful transformation. Let it be the year you truly come home to yourself, to the serene and powerful sanctuary of your own well-ordered mind. The path is laid out before you. Walk it with courage, with intention, and with an open heart. The wisest and most fulfilling life you can imagine is not a distant dream. It is a present possibility waiting to be realized by you. Let us consider the nature of desire itself, that powerful force that propels so much of human action. The modern world is an engine of desire, constantly creating new wants, new needs, new aspirations. Through advertising, social media, and cultural narratives, we are told that happiness lies just beyond the next purchase, the next promotion, the next achievement. This creates a state of perpetual dissatisfaction, a hamster wheel of striving where we are always reaching for something just outside our grasp. The Stoic virtue of temperance offers a powerful counter-narrative. It teaches us to examine our desires with the clear light of reason. It invites us to ask, is this desire rational? Is it natural? Is it necessary? Or is it an artificial want created by external pressures? A natural desire, like the need for food, water, or shelter, is easily satisfied. But an artificial desire, like the craving for fame, luxury, or the envy of others, is a bottomless pit. The more you feed it, the hungrier it becomes. The wise person learns to find contentment in satisfying their natural needs and to be indifferent to the endless parade of artificial wants. This is not a life of grim austerity, but one of elegant simplicity. It is the freedom that comes from realizing you already have everything you truly need. By mastering your desires, you are not diminishing your life, you are enriching it. You are freeing up your mental and emotional energy from the exhausting pursuit of the superfluous, so that you can focus on what is essential: your character, your relationships, and your inner peace. Think of your mind as a kingdom. Your reason is the rightful ruler. Your desires and emotions are powerful courtiers. If reason is strong and in command, the kingdom is orderly, peaceful, and prosperous. But if the courtiers of desire are allowed to run rampant, they will usurp the throne, and the kingdom will descend into chaos, conflict, and endless strife. The practice of temperance is the art of ensuring that reason remains firmly on the throne. It is the daily discipline of saying no to the irrational impulses that seek to derail you. It is the conscious choice to align your actions with your long-term well-being, not your short-term cravings. This mastery is a source of immense personal power. When you are no longer pulled in 1,000 different directions by your wants, you become focused, centered, and capable of directing your life with purpose and intention. You are no longer a ship at the mercy of every passing wind, but a vessel with a steady hand on the rudder, steering a clear course towards the harbor of virtue. As you move through the new year, pay close attention to the desires that arise within you. Do not judge them, but observe them with curiosity. Ask them where they come from and where they are leading you, and then, with the authority of your own reason, choose which desires to follow and which to let go. This is the path to true wealth, not the wealth of a full bank account, but the wealth of a soul that is content, free, and in command of itself. Let us revisit the concept of our interconnectedness, the virtue of justice. In a world that often emphasizes individualism and competition, it is easy to forget that we are social creatures, deeply woven into the fabric of community. The ancient Stoics saw this clearly, teaching that we are like the limbs of a single body. The good of the individual is inseparable from the good of the whole. To live a just life is to recognize this fundamental unity and to act from a place of empathy, fairness, and a sense of shared responsibility. This perspective challenges the narrow, ego-driven worldview that leads to conflict, exploitation, and alienation. When you see others not as competitors or obstacles, but as fellow travelers on the same human journey, your interactions are transformed. You act with kindness, not because you expect something in return, but because it is the rational and natural way for a human being to behave. You practice fairness not because you fear punishment, but because you respect the inherent dignity of every person. This sense of cosmic kinship extends beyond our fellow humans to all of nature. To live in accordance with nature is to be a responsible steward of the earth, to recognize that our well-being is dependent on the health of the planet. It is a call to live with a lighter footprint, to consume mindfully, and to protect the natural world that sustains us. Practicing justice in this broad sense is a source of profound fulfillment. It connects us to something larger than our own small ego. It gives our life a sense of purpose that transcends personal gain. When you act for the common good, you are aligning yourself with the rational order of the universe, and in this alignment, you find a deep and abiding peace. In your daily life, the opportunities to practice justice are endless. It can be in the way you listen to a friend, the integrity with which you conduct your business, or the compassion you show to a stranger. It is in the small choices you make every day, to be honest, to be fair, to be of service. These acts may seem insignificant on their own, but together they create a life of profound moral beauty. They are the threads with which you weave your character into the grand tapestry of humanity. As you step into 2025, consider setting an intention to live more justly. How can you contribute to the well-being of your family, your community, your world? What skills and talents do you possess that can be used for the common good? This does not require grand, heroic gestures. The most powerful acts of justice are often the quiet, consistent choices we make in our everyday lives. By cultivating this virtue, you are not only making the world a better place, you are also making yourself a better human being. You are strengthening your character, enriching your soul, and finding a joy that is deeper and more lasting than any selfish pursuit. This is the path of the Stoic sage, a life of inner peace and outer service, a life in perfect harmony with the rational and benevolent order of the universe. Let us reflect upon courage one final time. As you have learned, Stoic courage is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of fear. It is the rational mind asserting its authority over the primal instincts of the emotional brain. This is a skill, and like any skill, it is developed through consistent practice. The coming year will present you with countless opportunities to train this muscle. Each time you feel fear, the fear of failure, of rejection, of discomfort, of the unknown, see it as a call to the training ground. Do not run from it. Do not suppress it. Acknowledge its presence, and then, deliberately, choose to act in spite of it. Start with small acts of courage. Speak up in a meeting when you have a valuable idea, even if your voice trembles. Start a conversation with a stranger. Take on a project that stretches your abilities. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you are expanding its boundaries. You are teaching yourself on a deep neurological level that you are capable of handling more than you thought. You are building self-trust and self-respect. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate courage is to have a clear sense of purpose. When your why is strong enough, you can endure almost any how. Your values and your principles are your why. When you are committed to living a life of virtue, of wisdom, justice, and temperance, you have a reason to be courageous that transcends your personal comfort. You act courageously not for yourself, but for the sake of what is right. This gives you a source of strength that is far greater than your own limited ego. Imagine yourself at the end of 2025, looking back on a year where you consistently chose courage over comfort. What new skills would you have learned? What new relationships would you have formed? What new levels of self-confidence would you have achieved? The person you would become through this practice is a person of deep character and quiet strength, a person who is not easily swayed by the winds of fortune, a person who can face the uncertainties of life with a calm and steady heart. This is the promise of a courageous life. It is not a life free from fear, but a life in which you are free from the tyranny of fear. You become the master of your own emotional responses, capable of navigating the world with clarity, purpose, and dignity. So, as you make your plans for the new year, do not just plan for success or happiness. Plan for courage. Identify the areas of your life where fear is holding you captive and make a conscious plan to confront those fears, one small step at a time. Seek out challenges. Embrace discomfort. See every obstacle as an opportunity to prove your own strength to yourself. This is the path of the spiritual warrior, the path of the Stoic sage. It is the path to a life that is not just successful, but significant, not just happy, but heroic. As our journey through this Stoic guide for the new year comes to an end, let us consolidate the profound wisdom we have gathered. The philosophy of Stoicism is not a collection of abstract theories, but a practical, life-altering toolkit designed to build a resilient, virtuous, and serene character. We began by understanding the fundamental principle of the dichotomy of control, the liberating act of distinguishing between what we can influence and what we cannot. This is the very foundation of a tranquil mind, freeing us from the self-imposed prison of worrying about the uncontrollable. We then learned to go beyond mere acceptance and to cultivate amor fati, a deep and joyful love for our fate, recognizing that every event in our life, both joyous and challenging, is an essential thread in the perfect tapestry of our existence. We have charted our course by the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom to navigate life with clarity, courage to face our fears and act rightly, justice to live in harmony with our fellow human beings, and temperance to master our own desires and impulses. These virtues are not distant ideals, but daily practices that shape our character and guide our actions. We have armed our minds with powerful techniques like premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity, to build resilience and appreciate the present, and memento mori, the remembrance of death, to live with urgency, purpose, and gratitude. We have learned the importance of objective perception, the art of seeing reality as it is, untainted by our subjective and often painful interpretations. And we have seen how all of these teachings converge into the ultimate goal of living in accordance with nature, our own rational nature, and the benevolent, rational order of the cosmos. This guide is your companion for 2025 and beyond. It is a blueprint for building your inner citadel, a fortress of peace and strength that can withstand any of life's storms. The path of a Stoic is not one of ease, but one of effort. It requires a daily commitment to self-reflection, self-discipline, and virtuous action. But the rewards are immeasurable: a life of profound freedom, deep fulfillment, and unshakable tranquility. As you step into the new year, do so with a new intention. Let go of the pursuit of fleeting pleasures and external validation. Turn your focus inward to the cultivation of your own character. Let this be the year you become the philosopher of your own life, the wise and benevolent ruler of your inner world. In every challenge, find an opportunity. In every interaction, a chance to practice virtue. In every moment, a precious gift. The journey of 1,000 miles begins now, with the next choice you make, the next thought you entertain, the next action you take. Walk this path with patience, with courage, and with a heart full of gratitude. The most extraordinary version of yourself is not a distant possibility. It is a present potential waiting to be forged in the crucible of your daily life. You are the architect of your soul. Build it well. As we conclude, let's reflect on the very essence of this Stoic transformation. It is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more truly yourself. It is about stripping away the layers of false beliefs, reactive emotions, and societal conditioning to uncover the rational, virtuous, and serene core that lies within you. This is a journey of homecoming. The peace you seek is not something you need to acquire. It is something you need to uncover. The strength you desire is not something you need to build from scratch. It is something you need to remember you already possess. The Stoic path is a process of clearing away the clutter from your mind so that your own inner light can shine forth. The new year, with its symbolic promise of a fresh start, is the perfect occasion to rededicate yourself to this inner work. But do not be mistaken. The power does not lie in the turning of the calendar page. The power lies in your will, in your conscious decision, in this very moment, to live differently. You can begin today. You can begin now. You do not need to wait for a special occasion or a perfect set of circumstances. The training ground for a Stoic is life itself, in all its messy, unpredictable, and beautiful reality. Every moment is a chance to practice. Every breath is an opportunity to return to the present. Every thought is a chance to exercise your reason. Do not be intimidated by the seeming loftiness of these ideals. The greatest of the Stoic sages were human, just like you. They had their flaws, their struggles, their moments of weakness. What set them apart was not their perfection, but their perseverance. It was their unwavering commitment to the path, their daily effort to be a little wiser, a little more courageous, a little more just, a little more temperate than they were the day before. This is the only standard you need to hold yourself to be better today than you were yesterday. This is a journey you do not have to walk alone. The writings of the great Stoics are your companions, your mentors, your friends. Return to them often. Let their wisdom inspire and guide you, and share your own journey with others. In teaching, you learn. In supporting, you are supported. The virtue of justice reminds us that we are all in this together. So, go forth into this new year with a quiet confidence in your own ability to change. Trust in the power of reason that resides within you. Trust in the benevolent order of the universe, and trust in the process of your own unfolding. May your days be filled with purpose, your heart with peace, and your character with the enduring strength of virtue. The life you have always longed for is not a distant shore. It is the very ground beneath your feet, waiting for you to walk upon it with wisdom and with love. The path to a Stoic life is paved with small, consistent actions. It is in the mundane moments of daily existence that our philosophy is truly tested and our character is forged. Let's break down how this transformation can manifest in the simple choices you make each day. When you wake up, instead of reaching for your phone and letting the world's chaos flood your mind, take a few moments for yourself. Practice a moment of premeditation. Think about the day ahead, not with anxiety, but with strategic foresight. What challenges might you face? A difficult meeting, a frustrating commute, a personal conflict. Visualize yourself navigating these challenges with the 4 virtues. How would a wise person handle this? A courageous person, a just person, a temperate person. This 5-minute practice sets the tone for your entire day, priming your mind for a virtuous and rational response rather than an emotional reaction. Throughout your day, practice the art of the pause. When someone says something that triggers your anger, or when you feel the pull of an impulsive desire, create a small gap between the stimulus and your response. In that gap, take a breath. In that gap lies your freedom. You can consult your inner reason and choose an action that is aligned with your values, rather than being a slave to your initial impulse. This is the active practice of temperance and self-control, and it is in these small moments that you reclaim your power. In your interactions with others, strive to practice justice and empathy. When you are in a conversation, truly listen. Seek to understand the other person's perspective before you seek to be understood. Remember that everyone you meet is fighting their own battles, many of which you know nothing about. This perspective will soften your judgments and open your heart to a deeper sense of compassion and connection. Treat everyone with a baseline of respect and fairness, not because of who they are, but because of who you want to be. At the end of your day, take another few moments for reflection. This is the Stoic practice of the philosophical journal. Review your day, not with self-criticism, but with a gentle and honest eye. Where did you act in accordance with your virtues? Where did you fall short? What did you learn from your mistakes? This is not about guilt, it is about self-improvement. By acknowledging your shortcomings without harsh judgment, you can make a plan to do better tomorrow. This daily review is a powerful tool for self-awareness and conscious growth. It ensures that your life is not just a series of random events, but a purposeful journey of becoming a better human being. Finally, as you prepare for sleep, practice the art of letting go. Release the worries of the day, the regrets of the past, and the anxieties for the future. Remind yourself of the dichotomy of control. There is nothing more you can do tonight about the things that are outside your power. Surrender them to the natural flow of the universe. Reflect on memento mori, not with fear, but with gratitude for the day you have been given. This practice will quiet your mind and prepare your body for a restful and restorative sleep. These are not grand, life-altering changes. They are small, sustainable habits. But when practiced consistently, day after day, they have a cumulative effect that is truly transformative. They are the daily stones you lay to build your inner citadel. They are the daily steps you take on the path to a life of virtue, serenity, and fulfillment. This is how you make philosophy a lived reality. This is how you change your life, not through a single dramatic act, but through the quiet, persistent, and courageous choices you make in every moment of every day. Let us contemplate the nature of happiness itself. The world teaches us that happiness is a destination, a place we will arrive at once we have the right job, the right partner, the right amount of money. We live in a state of when-then thinking. When I achieve this, then I will be happy. This puts our happiness forever in the future, just beyond our reach, making the present moment a mere stepping stone, something to be endured on the way to a better tomorrow. The Stoic philosophy offers a radical and liberating alternative. Happiness is not a destination, it is the way you travel. It is not something to be pursued, it is a byproduct of a life lived with virtue and reason. It is the inner tranquility that arises when your soul is in a state of harmony, when you are living in accordance with your own highest nature. This shifts the focus entirely. Instead of chasing fleeting external pleasures, you turn your attention inward to the cultivation of your character. You find joy not in what you have, but in who you are becoming. You derive satisfaction not from the praise of others, but from the knowledge that you have acted with integrity. Your sense of well-being becomes independent of the ups and downs of fortune. This is a happiness that no one can take away from you. This inner state of flourishing, which the Greeks called eudaimonia, is available to you in every moment, regardless of your external circumstances. You can be experiencing physical pain and still find a sense of peace in the courageous way you are enduring it. You can be facing a financial loss and still find contentment in your ability to live simply and with dignity. You can be dealing with a difficult relationship and still find fulfillment in your own commitment to justice and compassion. The source of your joy is your own virtue, which is always within your control. This does not mean that you should not enjoy the good things in life. A healthy body, loving relationships, and financial security are all preferred indifference. They are good to have, and it is rational to pursue them with prudence, but they are not essential for your happiness. You can have a good and fulfilling life with or without them. This detachment is the key to enjoying them fully when you have them, without the paralyzing fear of their loss. When you know that your core well-being is secure within your inner citadel, you are free to engage with the world with a light and joyful heart. You can savor the pleasures of life without clinging to them. You can navigate its challenges without being crushed by them. You become like a skilled dancer, moving gracefully with the music of existence, whether the tempo is fast or slow, joyous or melancholic. As you step into 2025, I invite you to redefine your understanding of happiness. Let go of the illusion that it is something you must find outside of yourself. Recognize that it is a seed that is already planted within your own soul. Your work is to create the right inner conditions for it to grow. Nurture it with the water of wisdom, the sunlight of courage, the good soil of justice, and the gentle care of temperance. Protect it from the weeds of irrational desires, negative emotions, and false judgments. If you make this your primary focus, if you commit yourself to the cultivation of your own character, you will find a happiness that is not a fleeting emotion, but a deep and abiding state of being. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding. It is the joy of a life well lived. It is the ultimate prize of the philosophical journey, and it is a prize that is within your reach, starting today. Let us now address a common misconception about the Stoic path. The image of the Stoic is often that of a stern, unfeeling figure, suppressing their emotions and enduring life with a grim and joyless resignation. This is a profound misunderstanding. The goal of Stoicism is not to eliminate emotion, but to transform it. It is not to live a life devoid of feeling, but to cultivate the right kinds of feelings, feelings that are rational, healthy, and conducive to a flourishing life. The Stoics made a distinction between the path, which are the unhealthy, irrational, and disturbing passions like fear, anger, envy, and obsessive desire, and the eupatheia, which are the good, rational, and healthy emotions. These good emotions include joy, which is a rational elation based on virtue, volition, which is a rational desire for what is truly good, and caution, which is a rational aversion to what is truly bad, i.e., vice. The aim is not to become a rock, but to become a sage, a person whose emotional life is in perfect harmony with their reason. When you live a life guided by virtue, your emotional landscape naturally begins to change. The turbulent storms of the passions begin to subside, and they are replaced by the clear, calm weather of the good emotions. You feel joy not from a fleeting pleasure, but from the deep satisfaction of a virtuous action. You feel a desire not for a material possession, but for wisdom and self-improvement. You feel an aversion not to a potential loss, but to a compromise of your own integrity. This is a far cry from the caricature of the emotionless Stoic. The Stoic sage is a person of deep feeling, but their feelings are aligned with truth and reason. They are not tossed about by the irrational waves of passion. They are grounded in a deep and abiding sense of inner peace and well-being. Their emotional life is not a source of turmoil, but a source of strength. This transformation of the emotions is a gradual process. It requires the daily practice of the principles we have discussed. Each time you challenge a false judgment, each time you choose a rational response over an emotional reaction, you are retraining your emotional brain. You are creating new neural pathways, new habits of feeling and responding. Over time, what was once a struggle becomes second nature. The calmness and clarity that you once had to consciously strive for become your natural state of being. So, as you embark on your Stoic practice for the new year, do not be afraid of your emotions. Do not try to suppress them. Instead, get to know them. Observe them with curiosity, question them with reason, and gently guide them towards a healthier and more rational expression. This is the path to true emotional mastery. It is the path to a heart that is not just resilient, but also joyful, not just strong, but also serene. The final lesson we shall contemplate is the most encompassing of all: the understanding that your life is a work of art. The ancient philosophers did not see life as a problem to be solved, but as a masterpiece to be created. You are both the sculptor and the marble. Every day, with every choice you make, you are chipping away at the stone, shaping your own character, crafting your own soul. The goal is to create a life that is beautiful, harmonious, and a true expression of your highest potential. What does a beautiful life look like from a Stoic perspective? It is not a life of ease, comfort, or worldly success. It is a life of moral beauty. It is the beauty of a character that is strong, noble, and virtuous. It is the harmony of a soul that is in perfect alignment with reason and nature. It is the elegance of a life that is lived with purpose, dignity, and grace, even in the face of hardship. This is an art form that is accessible to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. You may not have the talent to paint a great picture or compose a great symphony, but you have the capacity to create a great life. The materials you have to work with are the events of your daily existence, your challenges, your relationships, your joys, your sorrows. Your tools are the principles of wisdom we have explored, the four virtues, the dichotomy of control, the practice of objective perception. Every day is a new opportunity to work on your masterpiece. Every situation is a new piece of marble to be shaped. When you face a difficulty, you can see it as an ugly flaw in your creation, or you can see it as a chance to demonstrate the beautiful virtue of courage. When you interact with others, you can act from a place of selfish ego, or you can create a beautiful expression of justice and compassion. When you are tempted by a fleeting desire, you can give into it, or you can sculpt a moment of beautiful temperance. This is the art of living. It is the practice of bringing intention, awareness, and moral beauty to every aspect of your life. It is about seeing your life not as a series of random events, but as a coherent and purposeful narrative that you are consciously writing, a story of growth, resilience, and the pursuit of virtue. As you look towards 2025, I invite you to see yourself as this artist of life. Take up your tools with a sense of joy and purpose. Approach the raw material of your existence with a creative and loving heart. And commit yourself to creating a life that is not just successful, but a true work of art, a masterpiece of character that will be a source of inspiration to yourself and to the world. As we bring this comprehensive guide to a close, Let us not see it as an end, but as a true beginning. The wisdom of the ancient Stoics is not meant to be a relic of the past, admired from a distance. It is a living, breathing philosophy, a practical set of tools waiting to be picked up and used by you here and now. The journey we have outlined is a profound one, a path that promises not an escape from the challenges of life, but the inner strength to meet them with grace, wisdom, and unshakable serenity. We have laid the groundwork, from understanding the fundamental power of the dichotomy of control to embracing the entirety of our fate with amor fati. We have illuminated the path with the guiding light of the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. We have fortified our minds with the powerful practices of negative visualization and the remembrance of our mortality. We have learned to see the world through the clear lens of objective perception and to find our ultimate purpose in living in harmony with the rational order of nature. You now hold the blueprint for a transformed life. The year 2025 stretches before you, a field of unplowed potential. It is not the calendar that holds the magic of transformation, but your own will, your own conscious choice to walk this path of virtue and self-mastery. Let this not be a fleeting inspiration that fades with the first challenges of the new year. Make it a deep and abiding commitment. Integrate these practices into your daily life. Let them become the very rhythm of your existence. Start a journal. Meditate on these principles. Discuss them with like-minded friends. The path of the philosopher is one of constant learning and practice. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of doubt. This is the nature of any worthy endeavor. The key is not to achieve a flawless perfection, but to maintain a steadfast commitment to progress. Each time you rise after a fall, you are stronger than before. Each time you choose a virtuous response, you are reshaping your character for the better. The ultimate aim of this journey is to build your inner citadel, that unbreachable fortress of the soul where you can find peace and security no matter the turmoil of the external world. This is your birthright as a rational human being. It is the source of a happiness that is not dependent on fortune, a joy that is deep, lasting, and truly your own. Go forth and be the artist of your life, the captain of your soul. May you craft a masterpiece of character, a life of moral beauty and profound fulfillment. The wisdom of the ages is with you. The power to change is within you. The journey begins now. The Stoic journey is one of solitary strength, but also communal connection. While the inner citadel is built by your own hands, its walls are made stronger by the bonds of fellowship. As you walk this path, seek out others who share your commitment to a life of virtue and reason. Engage in conversations that challenge your thinking and deepen your understanding. The ancient Stoics had their schools and their circles of friends where they would discuss, debate, and support each other in their philosophical practice. In the modern world, you can create your own circles, whether in person or online. Sharing your struggles and your insights with others is not a sign of weakness. It is an expression of the virtue of justice, of our shared human quest for a good life. In teaching others, you will find that your own understanding becomes clearer. In listening to the perspectives of others, you will find that your own vision is expanded. We are, as the ancients taught, citizens of a single cosmos, and our individual journeys are enriched when we walk them together, supporting and encouraging one another along the way. Do not underestimate the power of a single, well-chosen friendship. A true friend, a philosophical companion, is one of life's greatest treasures. This is a person with whom you can be completely honest, who will hold you accountable to your highest ideals and who will offer you a mirror to see yourself more clearly. Cultivating such relationships is a worthy and virtuous endeavor, a vital part of a flourishing life. Let the beauty of the natural world be a constant source of inspiration and a reminder of the principles you are striving to live by. When you see a mighty oak tree, let it remind you of the virtue of strength and resilience. When you observe the steady flow of a river, let it remind you of the wisdom of flowing with what you cannot change. When you gaze at the vast, star-filled night sky, let it remind you of your place in the grand, rational order of the cosmos and fill you with a sense of awe and belonging. Nature is the ultimate Stoic teacher. It is a living embodiment of order, harmony, and the beautiful, cyclical dance of growth and decay. Spending time in nature, observing its rhythms and its wisdom, can be a powerful form of meditation, a way to quiet the noise of the ego and reconnect with the deeper truths of existence. As you move through the seasons of the coming year, let the seasons of nature be your guide. In the spring of new beginnings, plant the seeds of virtuous habits. In the summer of growth, tend to them with diligence and care. In the autumn of harvest, gratefully enjoy the fruits of your efforts. And in the winter of rest, retreat into your inner citadel, gathering your strength for the cycle to begin anew. This alignment with the natural world will bring a sense of harmony and peace to your life that cannot be found in the artificial and frantic pace of modern society. Remember always that this is your life, your unique and precious opportunity to create a work of art. Do not be discouraged by the gap that may sometimes exist between your ideals and your reality. This gap is the very space in which growth happens. It is the creative tension that pulls you forward on your journey. The goal is not to arrive at a final destination of perfection, but to be engaged in the beautiful, lifelong process of becoming. Embrace this process with a joyful and courageous heart. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Forgive your stumbles and use them as lessons. And never lose sight of the noble vision you hold for yourself. The vision of a person who is wise, brave, in control of themselves, and a force for good in the world. This is not a fantasy. It is your deepest potential. It is the person you were born to be. The Stoic path is the way to bring that person into full and glorious expression. The journey of 2025 is an invitation to do just that. Accept the invitation. The adventure of a lifetime awaits you. As this guide concludes, let one final thought be your compass. The Stoic philosophy is, at its heart, a philosophy of freedom. It is not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the much more profound freedom to be who you are, to be the master of your own mind, unenslaved by irrational passions, external events, or the opinions of others. This is the freedom that comes from within, the freedom of a well-ordered soul. Every principle we have discussed is a step towards this ultimate liberation. When you distinguish what you can control from what you cannot, you free yourself from the anxiety of the uncontrollable. When you love your fate, you free yourself from the bitterness of resentment. When you live by virtue, you free yourself from the inner conflict of a life that is not aligned with your values. When you master your desires, you free yourself from the chains of addiction and craving. When you conquer your fear, you free yourself from the paralysis that holds you back from your potential. This is the freedom worth striving for. It is the peace and tranquility of a mind that is at home with itself and with the universe. It is the ultimate prize of a life dedicated to wisdom. May you walk this path of freedom with a steady and joyful heart. May the coming year be a testament to the power that lies within you to change, to grow and to flourish. And may you find, in the daily practice of this ancient and noble philosophy, the unshakable peace and profound fulfillment that is your birthright as a rational and virtuous human being. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the heart of Stoic philosophy. We'll explore its core teachings and uncover how these ancient principles can still guide us today. The timeless phrases of Stoicism aren't just wise sayings. They're practical tools to help us navigate life's daily struggles, cultivate inner peace, and develop a resilient mindset. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please support the content by subscribing and liking the video so I can continue bringing you more valuable insights like these. Now, come along with me as we unravel the essence of Stoic wisdom and see how it can bring clarity and direction amidst the chaos of modern life. Discover the foundational ideas of Stoicism and learn how to apply them to your own journey with our ebook Stoic Mentality, a guide to contemporary living. You can find the link to it in the first pinned comment below. Let's begin. Everyone wants to see you succeed, but some only pretend to. Others will actively root for your downfall. That's why it's essential to learn self-reliance and remember that you are mortal. If you don't become independent and capable, the consequences later can be deeply painful. Let go of worrying about what others think. Really, who cares? Keep your thoughts to yourself and steer clear of fools. Their mindset is contagious. Some of your friends want to see you do well, just not better than them. The rest? They simply don't care. Learn to say yes and mean it. Don't agree to things just to make others feel comfortable. Always consult your own conscience before making commitments. Many people won't truly value you, especially when they see you as competition. Rule your life with your mind, not your emotions. Think back. Every poor decision you've made was likely driven more by emotion than reason. Always listen to your instincts. In ways you don't even realize, they understand things you haven't yet figured out. Know your worth and never put yourself on clearance. When you lower your value, others will too. Time moves fast. Be grateful. No matter how bad things seem, they could always be worse. Live like there's no tomorrow and focus on what you love. The money will come. Don't torture yourself with regret. No one is perfect. Stop chasing happiness. Focus on staying positive, and joy will follow naturally. Be mindful of those who say they love you. Many don't mean it. Often, they're using you. Trust yourself and trust your first instincts when making choices. Keep your expectations low when it comes to others, but always keep your standards high for yourself. Expecting too much from people is a formula for disappointment. Stay focused on your own growth. People will enter and leave your life. That's just how it goes. If you don't learn to control your mind, someone else will. Sometimes, the heartbreaks you experience are what finally clear your vision. Solitude is the price of growth. Be proud of yourself for surviving the days you thought would break you. Not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. Stop oversharing. Most people don't care, and some are secretly hoping you fail. Be kind, but don't let people take advantage of you. It's better to be disliked for who you truly are than to be loved for pretending to be someone else. Don't destroy yourself trying to impress people who don't even have it together. Avoid those who make you feel alone, even when you're with them. Bad company is worse than no company at all. Make peace with your past so it doesn't ruin your present. Don't compare your life with others. You don't know the full story of their journey. Never underestimate how dangerous foolish people can be. No one else is going to figure out your life for you. It's your responsibility. Sometimes everything can go wrong all at once, no matter how well you planned. If you're too nice, people will walk all over you. Be prepared for that. A negative phase can start out of nowhere. You have to be willing to swallow your pain and grow by yourself. Never let a single person be the source of all your happiness, because if they leave, they take your happiness with them. Trust carefully, not blindly. When you take on your friends' problems, you take on their burdens too. The smaller your circle, the fewer headaches you'll have. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall. Even if you're doing all the work for yourself, some people will still hurt you. But those rare few who are worth the pain, keep them close. Be proud of how hard you're trying. Don't look back. That's not the direction you're heading. Don't rely too heavily on anyone, because even your shadow disappears when you're in the dark. Focus on building your work and building your life. Work on yourself and build your fortune. In your lowest moments, you'll discover a lot. And remember, some of the best moments of your life still haven't happened yet. This is your world. Shape it, or someone else will. Bad habits are like soft beds, easy to fall into and hard to get out of. Nobody is too busy. It's always a matter of priorities. If something brings you joy, keep it quiet. The best decision I made was to stop telling everyone what I'm doing. Success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you never planted. Don't beg, don't chase, let life unfold. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. If no one offers help, do it alone. Take your financial well-being seriously. Money is a powerful shield against many of life's challenges. Guard your time. Many people don't deserve a second of it. What people think about you is none of your business. You can't change the beginning, but you can start from where you are and shape the ending. Being alone gives you the chance to reconnect with yourself. Sometimes you need to stop assuming the best in people and start observing their actions. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live at your own pace. Life's too short to waste on hate. Your darkest moment might end up being the best thing that ever happened to you. Envy is a waste of your energy. You already have what you need to begin. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated. And if you tell the truth, there's nothing to remember. Life isn't always fair, but be good anyway. The ones who don't take risks never accomplish much. Don't trust words, trust actions. Do yourself a favor. Get rich. Life is easier with money, not with time. If you can survive the chaos in your own head, you can survive anything. If someone doesn't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. Learn how to heal quietly. Not everyone needs to hear your pain. Stop expecting things from people. Everything will come to you when the time is right. Be patient and trust the process. Failure is just a bruise. It's not permanent. Avoid gossip. It's poison for your mind. At the root of all suffering is attachment. Time eventually reveals what you truly mean to someone. Stress might be temporary, but the lessons it teaches you can stay with you forever. If someone tries to bring you down, it's because they're already below you. Money isn't everything, but it solves a lot. No matter how smart, successful, or attractive you are, no one likes arrogance. Humility means everything. Never feel ashamed of having a good heart. All the good you give out will return, and often multiply. Don't feel guilty for doing what's best for you. Choose your circle wisely. The fastest way to grow is to be around people who are better than you. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. People want to see you do well, just not better than them. No is one of the most powerful words you can use. Don't exhaust yourself trying to please everyone. In your darkest moments, you'll often be alone, but those moments will make you wiser, stronger, and more courageous. No matter how kind or respectful you are, some people will still speak poorly of you behind your back. If you spend your life building someone else's dream, you're sacrificing your own. No matter how much good you do, people will always remember your mistakes. To get somewhere new, you must leave something behind. If you stay too long, you'll end up with nothing but regrets. You may not realize it, but the people you love the most are often your biggest weaknesses. The hard times are a blessing in disguise. They open your eyes to all the good you once took for granted. If you're impatient, life becomes harder. Patience, on the other hand, works miracles. Trust is easy to lose and hard to rebuild. Worrying won't fix tomorrow's problems. It only steals today's peace. Don't fear making tough decisions. Those are usually the ones that shape you the most. The more you hold on to your past, the less likely your future will shine with promise. Taking action is 10 times more powerful than simply reading or planning. Real-world experience remains life's greatest teacher. Every relationship, whether we admit it or not, carries some degree of self-interest. At the core, we are all a bit selfish. If you're not dating with marriage in mind, then you're probably in it for heartbreak. Let that sink in. A meaningful relationship begins with self-respect, because if you don't respect yourself, it's obvious to others. If you don't address misunderstandings quickly, they'll eventually become the very reason for distance between you and those you love. The people you care about could leave this world at any moment. Cherish them. Nothing is ever as simple as it appears. There's no better way to secure your future than by saving money consistently. The magic of compound interest can quietly transform your life. While good things often come to those who wait, they usually suffer during the wait. Still, the journey, though long and painful, is entirely worth it. Whether it's a machine, a home, or a relationship, regular maintenance is always less costly than fixing things after they're broken. In many places, your level of respect correlates with your financial status. We shed tears over people, but with time, those emotions fade, and time doesn't stop or rewind. Time is everything, and someday it will define who you became. When it's all said and done, what will really matter is your health and what you accomplished. Pain often leads us to our wisest choices because the fear of feeling that same pain again is a powerful motivator. In your darkest hours, you'll begin to see things more clearly. The harder your past was, the more radiant your future has the potential to be. You're unlikely to live a truly comfortable life with just one income stream. You need to create more. Most of what you fear will never actually happen. You attract what you embody. So if you want to do better, you have to become better. Learn how to cook a few simple meals. It's a life skill that will serve you well. Patience isn't weakness, it's strength. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make space for something even better. Never accept disrespect, not even from yourself. Listen more and speak less, because wisdom often comes wrapped in silence. Make a budget and stick to it. Kindness is a universal language, one that even the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Worrying may feel like doing something, but in reality, it's like a rocking chair. It keeps you occupied but gets you nowhere. You can't begin a new chapter of your life if you're still rereading the last one. The best views only come after the hardest climbs. Success doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's just that quiet little voice at day's end whispering, "I'll try again tomorrow." Don't lose your sense of humor. Laughter is the soul's best medicine. You'll never see a rainbow if your head is always down. Pay off your credit card bills. It'll save you stress in the long run. The best revenge isn't anger, it's massive success. The more you give, the more life gives you in return. Tough times never last, but strong people do. The most precious currency isn't money, it's time. Spend it carefully. A ship might be safest in the harbor, but that's not why ships are built. How you treat others says more about you than it does about them. Life isn't about having what you want, it's about wanting what you already have. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment you have and make it perfect. Believe in yourself, and everything else will eventually fall into place. Don't fear taking risks or trying something new. Life's far too short to always play it safe. Own your actions. That's what maturity looks like. Take a deep breath. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. Don't say someday. Say now, because someday may never come. Give to small charities. Acts of kindness change lives. If someone never makes mistakes, it likely means they've never tried anything new. You can't change the wind's direction, but you can always adjust your sails to reach your goals. When life finally gets better, you'll look back and be glad you didn't give up. Forgive your ex. Let go of the people who are wrong for you. Only then can the right ones arrive. God knows when to send exactly what you need. No regrets. Just do better next time. There will always be someone who doesn't value you. Just don't let that someone be you. Seek genuine respect, not shallow attention. Be careful whom you trust. Salt and sugar look almost identical. Some things need to end for better things to begin. Time will always reveal what's true. If you truly matter to someone, they'll find a way, even if life separates you. So appreciate every moment with those you love. Stay private, stay discreet, and don't tell everyone everything. Handle your personal life with care. Money is a means, not an end. The real goal is freedom. You're responsible for your own happiness. If you depend on others to create it for you, you'll constantly be disappointed. Do what no one else can do, and you'll become what no one else can become. Stay calm. You've overcome tough times before, and you will again. A negative mindset will never lead to a positive life. If someone treats you like an option, walk away. Choose experience over possessions, because memories are life's true riches. Accept what is. Let go of what was. Trust in what will be. There are so many people who love you. Don't waste your energy on those who don't. You deserve everything: the career, the love, the family, the peace, the life. Your vision might be blurry now, but with time and patience, it'll clear up. Patience is your quiet ally. Never forget the people who stood by you in hard times. You are enough, just as you are. You have nothing to prove to anyone. No matter how painful your past was, you always have the chance to begin again. Sometimes you have to go through the worst to reach the best. You'll remain alone until someone sees your true worth. Take care of your body. It's a different kind of wealth. If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her believe anything. Hard times always show you who your real friends are. Better days are coming. Yes, you may wake up with a heavy heart some mornings, but remember, your strongest muscle and your worst enemy is your mind. Train it. Someone else's success doesn't diminish your own. Don't let the same people hurt you more than once. Accept that some people love to blame others. They'll even blame you for things you didn't do. Stop complaining. It's wasted energy. Besides, who's really listening? You can't control everything or everyone, but you can always control yourself. And that's even better. Always move at your own pace, not based on expectations from society, friends, or family. If the house is messy and the garden is wild this weekend, it's okay. In the future, you'll remember the fun you had, not the tidy home. Make time for joy. Learn to say, "I don't know." Be frugal. Eat simple, real food. Avoid wheat and limit carbs. The more you learn, the more foolish small minds will seem. Pay close attention to people's red flags. Block them out early. It'll save you so much pain and wasted time. Never take on responsibilities that don't belong to you. Never compromise your worth. Trust your instincts. And above all, never take your loved ones for granted. Set firm boundaries. Be selective about who gets access to your life. If you truly want to grow, find someone worth serving. Service gives you experience, connections, and a reputation for reliability. True mastery only comes from practice. Buy and rent what you can afford. The fewer things you own, the lighter your life will feel. Life is rarely black and white. Often, there is no right or wrong choice. Sometimes, you just have to wing it. Don't walk away from someone just to teach them a lesson. Walk away because you've learned yours. Life is far from over, but it's also incredibly short. If there's something you want to do, don't put it off. But also, don't trade your long-term goals for short-term pleasures. When you're unsure, just take the next small step. Build relationships with people you admire, not just those who accept you easily. Surround yourself with people whose values and habits you admire, not simply those who are easiest to connect with or who readily accept you. The people you spend your time with will heavily influence your direction in life. Be cautious not only about who you choose to marry, but even more so about the kind of person you become in a marriage. If you become a parent, understand that making mistakes is a necessary part of learning and growth. Don't wait too long to start. Time slips by quickly. The older you get, the harder it becomes to change your habits or direction. Aside from your family, most people don't care about your struggles or triumphs. Begin saving money now. Avoid the temptation to spend on extravagant homes, flashy cars, or maxed-out credit cards. In the long run, you'll find much more peace in financial stability. Life is rarely as terrible as it seems in the moment, and rarely as amazing as you hope it will be. Guard your health. Without it, nothing else matters. No amount of wealth can bring joy if you're constantly suffering physically or mentally. Aim to get married before turning 30, and if you want children, try to have them before 35. Work diligently and earn well before you hit 40, and strive to establish passive income sources by 50. Make it a goal to retire before 60. Do all you can for your family out of love, but don't expect anything in return, not even from your partner. You will never regret saying, "I love you" to someone, so don't wait until it's too late. Make it a habit to save money regularly. A small amount each week or month can bring a huge sense of security and peace. It might be hard to believe, but having a financial cushion truly contributes to your happiness. If something in your life is functioning well, don't tamper with it unnecessarily. Be loyal in your relationships or choose to stay single. It really is that straightforward. Expect nothing, and learn to appreciate everything. Gratitude for the small, often overlooked aspects of life is what leads to inner peace. The harder you work, the more you seem to get lucky. Don't take things personally. People's actions are often reflections of their own inner battles. Forgive easily and be understanding, but don't allow yourself to be taken for a fool. Don't say maybe when you really want to say no. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Your self-respect must always outweigh your emotions. Don't let success inflate your ego or failure shatter your spirit. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. If you're a generous person, know your limits, because others often won't respect them. Don't waste energy explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds. They'll only hear what aligns with their perceptions. Accept constructive criticism, but never tolerate disrespect. If there's something you truly want, don't give up. Waiting is hard, but living with regret is harder. When you're angry, remain silent until your emotions settle. In life, you always have 3 choices: watch things happen, make them happen, or be confused about what just happened. Stay strong, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. People will judge you no matter what, so be true to yourself. You don't have to win every argument. Sometimes, agreeing to disagree is the wiser path. Live with no regrets, just lessons. Don't worry, just accept. Let go of expectations and embrace gratitude. Life is fleeting. The calmer your mind, the clearer your thoughts. The more genuine interest you show in others, the more engaging you will seem to them. If you never allow yourself to fall, you're just slipping through life. Hatred is a curse. It doesn't wound the one it's directed at, but it deeply harms the one who carries it. Let go of resentment like it's poison. We suffer more from our imagined fears than from actual reality. People evolve. Love can hurt. Friends might walk away. Life may not always go as planned, but it continues. So must you. Learn to say no without guilt. Explain your boundaries when needed and strive to be a good person, but don't waste your time proving it. Share your dreams sparingly, especially not with everyone you call a friend. Trust carefully. Keep your goals private until they are achieved. If you want to be seen as trustworthy, be honest. No one will care about your aspirations the way you do. You are the only person responsible for bringing them to life. Let go of past pain, but never forget the lessons they brought you. Controlling others may seem like power, but true strength lies in mastering yourself. Even the kindest souls have their limits. The path you choose matters more than how fast you're going. Control your thoughts, or they'll control you. Keep your personal life private. Discretion is strength. Don't make life-altering decisions when you're overwhelmed by fleeting emotions. To reach your highest self, you must first be capable of enduring the lowest points. As long as you're breathing, there's no obstacle you can't outlast. Thinking you're always right leaves no room for growth. Be patient. The best moments often arrive unannounced. Never regret any day. Good ones bring happiness, bad ones teach you, the worst days offer wisdom, and the best give memories. Life is a single, irreplaceable opportunity. Use it wisely. Be authentically yourself. Not everyone has to like you, and that's perfectly okay. Free yourself from the pressure to follow society's advice. Many don't even know what they're doing themselves. It might hurt at first, but eventually it makes you stronger. It's okay to walk certain paths alone. Your goals are personal and sacred. The family you build can be even more meaningful than the one you were born into. Life is short. Live it fully. Love is rare. Embrace it when it comes. Anger is harmful. Face it honestly. Moments of sweetness. Cherish them deeply. Missing someone doesn't necessarily mean they belong in your life. Sometimes missing is just part of healing. As you age, attend as many funerals as your heart can handle and listen to what people say. They rarely speak of accomplishments. Instead, they remember the kind of person someone was during their lifetime. Make sure you have at least one person who offers honest feedback. Be kind, generous, and gracious. But don't let others take advantage. Clinging too tightly to anything will only bring anxiety. Life doesn't unfold the way we want just because we wish it to. Pay attention to people's actions more than their words. Don't react with immediate anger. Let time settle your thoughts before responding. Words spoken in rage can't be undone. Keep your privacy sacred. There's no use regretting the past. You did your best with the knowledge you had at the time. People will see you for who you are, not who you needed them to be. Don't jump to conclusions. Be perceptive and give others time to reveal their true character. Never underestimate contempt. It can be deeply damaging. If someone consistently belittles or talks down to you, whether socially or professionally, remove them from your life. Never lend money unless you can afford to lose it. Borrowing may last days, but recovering it from careless hands can take years. Solve your problems before discussing them with others, especially friends. No matter how tough it gets, don't expose your weaknesses to those who might use them against you. People often enjoy watching others stumble. Don't give them that pleasure. Listen closely to those who tell you uncomfortable truths. Avoid the trap of self-pity. It's dangerously consuming. Just because you're in a dark place now doesn't mean you won't smile again. Pain is temporary. Sadly, we use our health to chase wealth, only to spend all our wealth later seeking one healthier day. Grudges don't harm those we resent. They only hurt us. Haters don't suffer. Only the ones who carry that hate do. Time will shape you more than anything else. It's the truest judge. You can't fight it. The only constant in life is change. Embrace it and you'll grow. Say please and thank you often. You can't rewrite the past, but you can shape the future by learning from it. One of the heaviest burdens we carry is expectation. It's better to be alone than with someone who brings you down. Once you stop chasing the wrong people or things, the right ones find their way in. There are no shortcuts to places worth going. You won't know how strong you are until strength is your only option. Don't let what you can't do overshadow what you can do. The best way to build confidence is to face what you fear. A river doesn't cut through rock because of force, but because of persistence. There's no elevator to success. You'll need to take the stairs. The greatest risk in life is not taking any at all. Happiness isn't something to delay for someday. It's something you must create now. Life won't get better by accident. It gets better with intention and effort. The only real limits are the ones you impose on yourself. A small act of prevention is worth more than any cure. Focus on what you can influence and release what you can't. Take time to savor life's simple pleasures. Within them often lies our deepest joy. Give without expecting anything back. The only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. You can't live a positive life with a mind trapped in negativity. Doubt kills far more dreams than failure ever will. When life puts you under pressure, remember that even diamonds are made that way. If you're feeling exhausted, don't quit. Rest instead. Don't let yesterday's shadows dim the light of tomorrow. Never delay your joy waiting for a perfect moment. Tomorrow isn't promised. The first step to moving forward in life is deciding that you are no longer willing to remain in the same place. Rather than chasing after people, particularly women, focus on your personal growth, values, and cultivating kindness. The right person will come into your life at the right time without the need to chase after them. Never lower your head in defeat. Instead, keep it held high and face the world with confidence. The true measure of a man's character is revealed by what he does when no one is watching. You don't need to win every argument. Sometimes it's more important to simply agree to disagree. Make the decision to spend time with older individuals whose wisdom and life experiences are invaluable. Keep your circle small and maintain a private life, for peace of mind often comes with solitude. It's important to recognize that sometimes we create our own disappointments through the expectations we place on others. It's okay to make mistakes because they are a sign that you are trying. Remember, it's not things that should matter most to you, but people. And even the smallest lie can destroy the biggest trust. Be kind and generous, not because you expect something in return, but because it reflects the goodness within you. Embrace solitude, as it provides time for self-reflection and personal growth. Trust is something not everyone will earn, and it's important to acknowledge that not everyone will be trustworthy. Don't shy away from expressing your feelings, as vulnerability is a sign of strength. Rejection is part of life, and learning to handle it with grace is essential. Remember, it's just a bad day, not a bad life, and things will improve in time. Be careful not to overthink or trust too much. Loving too deeply can lead to disappointment, and while you may face disappointments many times, how you respond is what truly matters. Never allow anyone to make you feel undeserving of what you want in life. Do what is right for you, even if it means hurting someone you love. The days that break you are often the ones that push you to grow the most. Time waits for no one. It simply urges you to either catch up or stay behind. Never allow a relationship to damage your mental health, and remember that your happiness cannot depend on others. Being overly kind to the point of self-sacrifice will eventually break you. Trust yourself, as you have already overcome many challenges, and you will continue to do so. Comfort often weakens you mentally, and sometimes loneliness is the price you pay for growth. You are who you are, and you don't need anyone's approval to live your life. Learn more from what people do, rather than just listening to what they say. Don't expect anything from anyone, as this will save you from disappointment. Take advantage of every opportunity, because regrets often come from the chances we didn't take. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Stop oversharing with others, as everyone comes into your life for a reason, but if they are meant to stay, they will. Your past is never a mistake if you've learned from it. When someone avoids you, respect their space and move on. People may forget what you said or did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Some people are destined to cross your path, but are not meant to stay forever. The direction you're heading in is more important than how fast you're moving. Never fall in love with the same person twice, because the second time, you're falling in love with the memories, not the person. View failure as a valuable teacher and a necessary stepping stone towards success. Celebrate even the small victories because they pave the way for larger accomplishments. Surround yourself with those who bring you peace and spend more time with them. Never be afraid to treat people the way they treat you. Be authentic and don't waste time on people who don't value you. Never hesitate to invest in yourself, as it pays off in the long run. Stop doubting yourself and believe in your potential. You can learn more about a person by what they say about others than by what others say about them. Trust your heart to guide you and let your mind lead you safely toward your goals. If you rely too heavily on one and neglect the other, you will lose balance. Life is a one-time experience, so do what makes you happy. You can't achieve great things if you're distracted by trivial matters. Remember that 5 years ago, you dreamed of being where you are today. Not everyone needs to be your friend, and that's perfectly okay. You don't always have to be on the move, doing something all the time. Take time to relax and give back, whether through a kind gesture or by helping someone in need. Everything happens for a reason, so don't be afraid to experience suffering. It's a natural part of growth. Don't sacrifice your health to make money, as you'll likely end up spending that money trying to recover your health. Be kind to others, but don't allow them to take advantage of your generosity. Your efforts are never wasted, even if others don't appreciate them. How others perceive you is not nearly as important as how you view yourself. To live like a king, you must work tirelessly toward your goals. Everything you need will come to you at the right time, so trust the process. You entered this world alone, and you will leave it alone. Therefore, remember that you have the strength to achieve the impossible by relying on your own determination and perseverance. Expect lies, for they are part of life. In the end, you'll likely regret more the things you didn't do than those you did. Things do not bring happiness, experiences do. Stay silent in moments of happiness and also in moments of sadness, for both can be fleeting. Stop comparing yourself to others who may have started their journeys earlier. Focus on your own path, for you cannot change the beginning, but you can start right now and alter the end. If you waste money, you can always earn it back. But if you miss an opportunity, it may never return. Live with open eyes, ears, and heart, because strong people tend to be simple. You spend your first 20 years worrying about what others think of you, your next 20 swearing you no longer care, and then you realize, in your later years, that others are not thinking about you as much as you once believed. Never reveal your weaknesses to others. Always strive to showcase your best qualities, and never let your enemies see you at your lowest. Time passes swiftly. One day you're 30, and the next you're 50. Plan now how you want the rest of your life to unfold. Excellence is not a gift. It is a skill that requires practice. We don't perform excellently because we are inherently excellent. We achieve excellence by consistently acting with intention, effort, and intelligence. Our choices, not chance, determine our destiny. Friendship is a quick bond, but true friendship is something that matures over time. Happiness is the ultimate goal of life, the meaning and purpose behind our existence. A friend to all is often a friend to none. Patience may be bitter in the moment, but its fruits are sweet for those who learn to endure. Parents who educate their children well deserve greater honor than those who simply gave them life, for it is education that shapes the future. Music and the arts provide the keys to understanding life as they touch the deepest parts of our souls. Poets, though sometimes unaware of their own understanding, express what cannot be said plainly. To know oneself is the beginning of all wisdom, and an educated mind can entertain different thoughts without immediately accepting them. True friendship is when two souls are intertwined in understanding and trust. Educating the heart alongside the mind is what truly constitutes an education. Hope is the waking dream that drives us forward, for no great mind has existed without a touch of madness. Happiness is within our control, and while anyone can become angry, true mastery of emotion is being able to direct it toward the right person at the right time and for the right reason. Excellence is never a result of accident. It is the culmination of intention, effort, and intelligent choices. Friends may come easily, but true friendship requires time. Patience, though hard to cultivate, yields sweet rewards for those who persist. The most worthy individuals to honor are those who have educated and nurtured you, for it is their wisdom that will carry you through life. Children, though given life by their parents, are more deserving of our respect and admiration because it is the mentors, the ones who teach them, who truly shape their future. Living well is often perceived as a struggle, but once a person conquers their fears, they will experience a profound sense of freedom. Those who seek knowledge, who strive to understand, and who take the time to impart that wisdom to others, are the ones who will experience true freedom and fulfillment. Educated individuals stand apart from the uneducated, just as the living stand apart from the dead. Trust should only be placed in one individual, for genuine trust is rare and hard-earned. I wish to see in you 3 things: the sorrow behind your smile, the love behind your anger, and the reasons behind your silence. If your absence doesn't make a difference to anyone, it suggests that you may never have truly mattered in their lives. Strive not for applause, but to work for a cause that is greater than yourself. Express yourself fully, not for the sake of impressing others, but because it is who you are. What occupies your thoughts will ultimately shape your reality. If challenges don't come your way, you'll remain unchanged. Be humble enough to admit when you're wrong and wise enough to remain silent when you're right. Understand that the moment you realize you deserve better, letting go will be the most empowering decision you can make. Always distinguish between what you are receiving and what you truly deserve. Never fear being different. Fear only the urge to outshine others for the wrong reasons. Respect is earned through honesty, trust through appreciation, and loyalty is something that is returned when you have been true to others. Remember, you must endure difficult days in order to fully appreciate the best ones. Every expert was once a beginner, and though the truth may cost nothing, a lie could cost you everything. Strength should be balanced by gentleness, for too much resistance can lead to breaking. A truly strong individual knows when to act with force and when to show restraint. The course of fortune and disaster often depends on knowing when to give up and when to persist. Those who lack the capacity to endure hardship are often the ones who face the greatest suffering. Sometimes, all we can do is endure our pain until the time comes when it can be healed or resolved. To solve a problem, it's essential to address its cause, not just its symptoms. The highest form of knowledge is knowing that we don't know everything, while the greatest torment comes from thinking we know when we truly don't. True intelligence lies in understanding others, while wisdom is found in understanding oneself. Strength is about dominating others, but true power is about controlling oneself. A branch that is too rigid will break, and too much resistance ultimately leads to destruction. A strong person understands when to use force and when to give in, and they know that good fortune and disaster hinge on this delicate balance. Only that which is of no use to the empire is worthy of being discarded. At the center of yourself lies the answer. You know who you are and what you want. Life is a continuous series of natural and spontaneous changes. Resist not these changes, for doing so only brings sadness. Let reality be as it is, and allow things to flow naturally to their rightful place. Kindness in speech fosters trust. Kindness in thought creates depth, and kindness in action cultivates love. A mind preoccupied with concepts often prevents one from experiencing things directly. A person bound by concepts can never truly understand the essence of life. Trying to explain something like Zen is akin to trying to trap the wind in a box. Once you close the lid, the wind ceases to exist. Over time, it becomes stagnant air. Sometimes your circle of influence may shrink, but in doing so, you gain greater courage. One day, you'll wake up and realize that time has run out to do all the things you've always dreamed of. Don't wait. Do them now. There's only one thing worse than a hardened heart, and that's a soft head. True success doesn't come without effort. Compound interest grows the best rewards, just as persistence through adversity builds strength and character. The more you dwell on your misfortunes, the greater their power to harm you. The path to health requires you to eat what you don't like, drink what you find unappealing, and do what you would rather not do. Avoid arguing with those who are not capable of reason. They will only drag you down to their level and eventually defeat you through sheer persistence. A broken promise may hurt, but it's often better than none at all. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you are right. Never hit someone if you can avoid it, but if you must act, do so with honor. Make the most of your resources and circumstances. Remember that a gem cannot be polished without friction, and neither can a man be perfected without trials. Suffering before it is necessary only leads to unnecessary pain. We should not follow the crowd blindly, but rather choose our own path, even if it leads us away from the popular one. We often love ourselves more than others, yet we care more about the opinions of others than our own. Luck is simply what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Live as though you are already dead. All that remains is how you live the present moment. Focus on now, for everything else is either in the past or unknown. If you are feeling alone, it may be because you have neglected yourself. Don't worry about who is by your side. Learn to rest, not to give up. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you discover why you were born. Adversity often prepares ordinary people for extraordinary destinies. Positive thinking is a powerful tool, often making everything better than negative thinking ever could. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Your past should serve as a place of learning and growth, not a place where you live forever. Don't rush the process. Trust that big things take time. Big dreams require healthy habits, and healthy habits require self-discipline. If you can stay positive in a negative situation, you will find victory. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you learn. Take a deep breath. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. You may fall 7 times, but you get up 8. If you believe it will work, you'll see opportunities. If you believe it won't, you'll only see obstacles. If you don't try, it will never happen. Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you began this journey toward becoming your best self. What you think in your mind becomes your reality. Making mistakes is better than pretending to be perfect. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. The calmer you are, the clearer your thoughts will be. The moment you want to give up is often when you need to push forward the most. Control your thoughts, or they will control you. Become a ghost. Forget about seeking attention and simply grow in private. 2 qualities define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. Don't give up. Nothing lasts forever, not even pain. Keep things private until they're permanent. You only fail when you stop trying. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. Learn to value yourself above others. Tranquility comes when you let go of what is behind you, allowing you to focus on what lies ahead. To be your best, you must be prepared to face the worst. A goal without a plan is merely a wish. Life is about being yourself. Don't lose who you are by trying to be someone else. If life were predictable, it wouldn't be life. It would be tasteless. Life is like a coin. You can spend it however you wish, but you only get to spend it once. Practice self-compassion, for we are all human, and we all make mistakes. Time heals almost everything. Give it time. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make room for something better. What others think of you is none of your concern. You can't move forward in life if you keep dwelling on the past. The best view comes after the hardest climb, and you'll never see a rainbow if you're always looking down. Hard times don't last, but strong people do. While you can't change the direction of the wind, you can adjust your sails to reach your destination. There are no shortcuts to worthwhile destinations. A river cuts through rock, not because of its strength, but because of its persistence. Focus on what you can control and leave the rest behind. The only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and the first step to moving forward is deciding that you're not willing to stay where you are. Your true character is revealed by what you do when no one is looking. Don't waste your life trying to impress others. Stay away from those who make you feel small. No company is better than bad company. Don't compare your life to others, for you have no idea what their journey is like. Your life is your responsibility. Life may not always be fair, but it is still good. Those who are too afraid to take risks will never succeed in life. Do yourself a favor. Get rich in experiences, because life becomes easier when you have wealth, not time. To avoid disappointment, don't expect anything from anyone. Stress may be temporary, but the lessons it teaches last a lifetime. Keep moving forward, trust the process, and do it better next time. The harder you work, the luckier you'll become. If you are generous, remember to learn your limits, because not everyone will share the same generosity. In life, you have 3 choices. You can see things happen, make things happen, or wonder what happened. Live with no regrets, only lessons learned. Practice acceptance, gratitude, and be at peace with life, for it is too short. The more you care for others, the more fascinating you will find yourself. Show interest, as we tend to suffer more from the imagination of things than from reality. It's true that people change. Love can be painful, friends may leave, and things can slip away. But remember that life continues. Don't reveal what you're working on until it's complete. Your hopes and dreams are yours alone, and only you have the power to make them come true. Forget the hurt, but never forget the lessons it taught you. Strength comes from dominating others, but true power lies in mastering yourself. The path you choose is far more important than how fast you move along it. Never regret a day in your life. Good days bring happiness, Bad days bring experience, the worst days bring lessons, and the best days bring memories. Life is fleeting, make the most of it. Love is complex and strange, hold on to it. Anger is destructive, let it go. Fear is paralyzing, face it. The people who are dear to you are precious, cherish them. Be cautious about relying too much on anyone in this world, for even your shadow will leave you in the dark. Never forget that some of your greatest moments have not yet occurred. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to fall into, but hard to escape. No one is truly too busy. It's all about priorities. If something makes you happy, keep it to yourself. Be careful with whom you place your trust, as some may seem sweet on the surface, but hide hidden motives. Time always reveals how much you mean to others. Stay calm. You've faced challenges before, and you'll overcome them again. If people treat you as an option, then leave them as a choice. Value experiences over possessions, for memories are the true treasures of life. Focus on those who love you and ignore those who don't. Your vision might blur at times, but it will clear up with time. Take care of your body. Your health is another form of wealth. Your mind is both your strongest ally and your worst enemy. Training yourself is more beneficial than the countless attempts of a beginner. In politics, we tend to think that anyone who knows how to win votes can effectively govern. But that's not always the case. When we're sick, we don't look for the most handsome or eloquent doctor. We seek the best treatment. Honor men more than the truth. There are two things you should never let anger consume you over: what you can control and what you cannot. When others speak badly of you, live your life in such a way that no one will believe them. The beginning of any endeavor is the most important part. Ask yourself, are we awake, or are all our thoughts just dreams? The purpose of education is to help us love the beauty of knowledge. A house with a library has a soul. Necessity is the mother of invention. Those who can see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will often never be understood, let alone believed, by the masses. Death is not the worst thing that can happen to a person. Wealth is truly found in living contentedly with little. When physical exercise is obligatory, it does not harm the body, but knowledge gained through forceful means doesn't stick to the mind. Beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, and many people will dislike you, especially if they see you as a competitor. Always listen to your instincts. They will reveal truths you wouldn't expect. Rule your life with your mind, not your emotions. Every bad decision we've made in life was more emotionally driven than rational. Trusting yourself is a virtue. Life isn't about having good cards. It's about playing a bad hand well. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single flame, and your life will not be shortened by sharing happiness. At first, you choose a partner based on appearance, but you will later realize that values, not looks, will guide how you raise your children. If you expect the world to treat you fairly just because you're fair, you are deceiving yourself. Learn to say what you mean and mean what you say. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping it will hurt your enemies. You can always make money, and the world won't end because you don't have a fixed income. Something else will come along. Your friends want you to do well, but not better than them. Don't worry about the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is real. If you want to know someone, observe the 5 people they interact with the most. When you're trying to break a habit, don't tell yourself it's the last time you'll do it. Tell yourself it's the first time you won't. Be mindful of small expenses. for small leaks will sink a large ship. Never compare your life to someone else's. Their life may appear better, but they have struggles you've never heard of. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. Justifying your actions to people living a life you don't desire is a waste of time. Keep your personal matters to yourself and avoid the company of fools. Stupidity is contagious. Not everything in this world should be your concern. Some problems are simply none of your business. Focus on what directly affects you, and you'll find more happiness. Your worth is not defined by someone else's failure to recognize it. Life can only be understood looking backward, but we must live it moving forward. Don't ignore problems that you see on the horizon. Foresight is a gift, so don't waste it. He who laughs at himself will never run out of things to laugh about. Decision-making, like coffee, needs time to cool down. Don't judge a day by the harvest, but by the seeds you plant. Every failure brings with it the experience to do better next time. Pay attention to those who say they love you, as they might not always mean it. They might just be using you. Trust your instincts, especially when it comes to decisions. You spend all your health to acquire wealth, then spend all your wealth to regain your health. Those who say you can't achieve something are usually just afraid of you doing it. Be cautious about who you call your friends. Sometimes 4 trustworthy people are worth more than 100 who aren't. Don't feel pressured to conform. Keep moving forward. The feeling will pass, and you'll remain. Lower your expectations, as high expectations of yourself and others often lead to chronic dissatisfaction. The problems your friends face will eventually become your own. The smaller your social circle, the fewer problems you'll have. Today, you are the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. What begins in anger often ends in shame. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. The only true error is one from which you learn nothing. Success is 5% intelligence and 95% consistency. Learn to be self-sufficient, for independence and resourcefulness are vital. People tend to stay in one place because of what they value. A ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. People are good at keeping secrets, but you don't always know everyone's true nature. Some teach you about love and support, while others teach you what to avoid. Not everyone wants to see you succeed, and some will go to great lengths to see you fail. If people were to feel the pain they've caused you, you would lose the strength you've gained. Don't fear the shadow. It only means there's light nearby. If you want to get rich, focus on saving as much as earning. Stop worrying about what others think. When you laugh, people laugh with you. When you cry, it's only when you try to please everyone that you end up pleasing no one. Be yourself. Others are already taken. It's possible to make mistakes and still lose. That's not weakness, it's life. Don't reveal your thoughts or knowledge too openly. Keep some secrets, because today's friend could be tomorrow's enemy. A busy person is rarely visited by idle friends, and flies don't land in boiling pots. Don't get caught up in regrets. No one is perfect. Don't pursue happiness, just stay positive, and joy will follow. Stop trying to please everyone. You need enemies to succeed. Without them, you wouldn't take their advice or criticism. Everyone falls, but it's in getting up that we learn to walk. You're not a product of your circumstances, but of your decisions. Focus on yourself. People come and go, and you don't always notice your progress because you're constantly raising the bar. There are 2 wolves inside all of us, one bad, one good. Which one will win? The one you feed. Loneliness is the price of personal growth. Judgment is inevitable, so embrace it, no matter the outcome. Don't live to impress others, live to impress yourself. Comparison steals joy, so focus on your own path. Never be so kind that you forget to be clever, and never be so clever that you forget kindness. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Complaining and lamenting never lead to results. Life's challenges aren't there to paralyze you, but to reveal who you really are. Sacrificing your progress for a friend may not be reciprocated if the roles were reversed. Never compare your life to another's. You don't know their journey. People will forget what you said and what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. People lie most during elections, wars, or after a hunt. The more you like yourself, the less you'll need others. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Walk away from people who make you feel alone. No company is better than bad company. Write your sad moments in the sand, but your happy ones in stone. Be kind, but don't let people take advantage of you. The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about what you've done. You're not responsible for the first thought that crosses your mind, but you are responsible for the second. Those who have a reason to live can endure almost anything. Never underestimate the power of foolish people. Don't wait. Knowledge begins with knowing a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Circumstances may shape you, but they do not define you. You are here for a reason, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Patience is essential, and being grateful for life's small blessings is vital. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and comment so YouTube knows these types of videos are helping people like you. This will help us continue creating content like this in the future.